Welcome one, welcome all. Joe wasn't a part of the show
No,
today.
it's not. He's been cut out.
Because he didn't do the intro.
I know we were already recording. I was looking at my phone.
Yeah, he was looking at it. So you want to... Wait, what can I do for the intro?
Nothing at all. Don't do anything.
You know what you can do for the intro, Keenan? You can do all the sound effects.
Well, I was trying to come up with something.
And then I took the sound effects from you left.
Welcome one, welcome all to episode 16 of the None of Our Business podcast. We are your hosts, filthy animals.
That's my new whack ass
Philanthropy,
beatbox.
philosophy, fellatio.
Keenan's beatbox is Keenan.
This Keenan, C-section. Section 9.
Whatever happened?
And this is Joe
C
Mama, Bad JoJo.
No, I'm just Joe, man. I'm just Joe.
Joe likes to talk shit about everybody else's names, and he's like, and I'm just Joe.
I'm Joe. I'm glad you guys finally caught on to that.
He's been talking
Man, we
mad
did.
shit since
We
day
did.
one. I was
All
going to
good.
give him the benefit of the doubt, but, you know, he decided not to change it up.
Hey, man, I'm never going to change it. I'm never going to change the way I am. I am the
Wait
way
a
I
minute.
am.
You're going to tell me that a person is 100% always the way they are and they can't change?
I
I
think people can change.
Yes, I agree. Question is, why do you think
to their core, though, like to their core, you think they could change?
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, those people that are like really uptight, and then they get like a big old dick, a really good one, and then all of a sudden they're just like all calm and shit. They just need to release that pressure.
Wait,
That's
so
a change right there.
has that happened to
I
you?
can't.
Keenan?
I can't say it. I can't say I know that feeling.
When was the last time you had a big dick relieve pressure for you, Keenan?
Keenan, when is the last time you had a big dick?
I set myself up for that
do
shit.
you mean that one day you find out you have a big dick and now you're happy and not mad at the world?
Damn.
Yes,
I'm gonna give you
I'm
that
a
out.
grower, not a shower. So, yeah.
Are you sure?
Sometimes it grows the other way, as we
Hey,
just.
Oh, that's right. You have the
I
inverted
mean, last week we
penis.
had a whole conversation about an inverted penis, you know?
Yeah.
You don't have
you
that
brought
problem.
that back,
Yeah.
okay? Don't
I
you
had
dare.
2 fingers pointed at me. Come on.
You don't have that problem anymore, right?
We
You
had-
got it looked at?
No.
I had completely forgotten about the inverted penis until you said it. See? I'm sorry, Keenan.
said it looked
You
like
brought
a
that back.
blonde.
Well, you said you were going to talk about it for the next 2 episodes.
I forgot.
You know Joe just says
Damn.
shit.
He does. He does.
He's so in the moment, it doesn't matter.
I'm a spur of the moment. I'm a sperm.
Joe is a sperm of the moment.
I'm a sperm of the moment. Shut up.
We
What's up,
need
guys?
it.
Episode 16.
Welcome back. Episode 16 started hot. We started hot. We're here. We're here, and we're
Shit.
you know the rest.
I think that was great.
Yeah.
I think we're doing pretty good, guys.
Yeah,
There's a good
yeah.
energy in the
Look
gym.
at that. Look at that.
But I do agree. I do agree with change. Change
Yes.
definitely can happen. My joke was that sometimes people just need a little push or shove
Is
in
that
the right
right?
direction.
All right, Keith.
A
I'm glad you feel that
thrust
way.
in the right way.
A little thrust,
Oh God,
little
Keenan.
pelvic thrust in the right way.
Have you been
Wait.
shoved the
Wait.
right way before, Keenan?
Usually I'm sleeping, but
Oh,
it-
God.
All right.
No, it's but I'm pretty sure you've met people and the stereotype where some guy or some girl are acting a certain way, then when they hook up with someone, they're a totally different person.
So the equivalent, are you stating
Dude.
something along the lines of like when someone finally has a drink or a drag of a cigarette or some sex that suddenly they're okay?
No, not in the
No, I
sense
know
that-
what you're saying. Like their personality completely changes once they start dating an individual. Like,
Yeah, like if I had since I'm single now, but if I got a new girl and all of a sudden I'm not playing video games anymore, I'm not going out to shows and stuff like that because I'm spending most of my time, I've trying to adapt with another person in my life. I don't become the same Keenan I was before.
See, I have something to say about this.
Well, let's talk about it.
And
I just noticed you're wearing a scarf just for the fuck of it.
It's cold in here.
something about wearing.
I was
a
about to take my
scarf.
jacket off. This is fucking hot.
Well, we had some epic gaming.
Well, when you're
prior.
as cool as me,
Oh, jeez.
doesn't matter what you're wearing, it's still too hot.
Oh, God.
So
Jeez.
what I was gonna say is, yeah, it's cool that when you get with someone, you guys are discovering each other and making compromises and everything that relationship comes with, right? If you don't go out as much, that's one thing. But if you stop going out entirely, that's the equivalent of, in my head, of acting a certain way only to attract someone. And then once you have them, then you have to keep this facade up that wasn't really you to begin with.
I'm pretty sure you both met people like that before. One day they were one person, another day they adapted to a different lifestyle. They're not doing the same routine.
When people act brand new.
But see, you have to remember what happens when they break up.
Do they go back to their ways, or do they completely change into the?
I've had many friends who like start dating somebody, and as soon as that relationship is over, they're like, "Yo, what's up? What are we doing? What's going on?" Like that shit happens all the time.
So
that's just them going reverting back to their old self.
So that's I'm just using all this as an example that people can change, either if it's back and forth or if it's one way.
But they always come.
So it's
back.
not that you hold a fast opinion on it so much as you're like, here's an example of someone
who changes.
And how we started.
Even if they go back to where they original started, if they go,
well, then of
that's
course,
a change too.
Everybody
can
change.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, yeah.
But fundamentally, people.
That's what I was saying. And Joe's trying to say that at a core, no matter who or what, they will go back to their way.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're the same person in junior high as you are now? There has to have been a change since elementary
Let's see.
school.
Junior high, Joe was telling a girl that he was the lead guitarist of the Scorpions. I think he's the same guy.
I mean, come on, guys.
Okay.
No, but right. I think everybody eventually goes back to who they are. Like, I don't because you can change, but it's a temporary change. You're just gonna go back to.
So then we can go a little meta and define who everyone is at the core. Let me reiterate that.
Who really are we?
Wait, so when do you find out?
How do you really define who am I?
And when do you find that out?
Are you your body? Because let me ask you something. Can you observe it?
Can you
other people can observe it?
Can you observe your body? Because then you're not your body, right? Can you observe your personality? Yes. You can watch your behavior, so you're not your behavior either. So if Joe is saying that at a core you can't change who you are, you being just an essence that can become anything, then I agree. Because at an essence, as a being of sentience, who we are is limited potential. Unlimited potential is what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, yeah,
of course our bodies change, of course.
Well, yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, if I don't work out, I drink a chocolate shake, my ass jiggles for like a week. You know what I mean?
I don't need that. I was gonna say,
he could attest to that.
Say, I don't need a glass of milk.
No.
Like
serious question. Why is it that men stop working out so much as we get older?
Or go on and on?
Especially as we start. Because remember, like in high school,
I didn't work out when I was in high school.
You didn't work out when you were in high school?
Nope. I was forced PE. I had to.
So physical activity has never been a thing for you?
No, but I love physical activity as far as I like. As far as I like playing sports and stuff like that.
Okay,
yeah,
like what kind of sports do you like?
Pretty much any sport besides crochet. I don't really like that.
Crochet? Isn't crochet like a sewing thing?
Is it croquet? Cricket. Not cricket. No, the one with the little balls that you whack. When you whack your balls. Yeah, croquet. Did I say that? I said crochet.
Do they consider that a sport?
I thought it was.
You can literally drink tea while playing that game.
Hey, man.
Let's talk to Ray about that. Ray, are you on the line? Let's hear it.
Hello?
I'm about to call her. Yeah, be like, yo, Ray.
You'd probably be like, no.
Is cricket a sport?
I know. Shout outs to Ray. Yeah.
Yo.
But, and like,
I'm just saying, bowling, we really let go, most of us. Why? I'm working hard to work against that. I don't want to get there, man. I think if you take care of this, it'll take care of you. You know what I mean?
Well, I have a different mentality of why I'm going back to the gym, and it is relationship related. Where
that's also true.
The thing where I was like, if I want
someone fine,
the ladies who I like on Instagram and stuff like that, I can't look like a slob and be like, that's what she has to look like 24/7. It's very unfair.
Have the expectation of yours be different. Right.
It's super unfair for them to work very hard on their body to look right, for me to be like, that's what I want, and for me to just not do anything.
So for all the single ladies out there looking for a man who understands you, call Keenan. 213. Is it 213?
No, we're not.
But
we're not putting that on the podcast.
The dad body is in. What are you talking about?
He said the dad body is in.
Dad body's in play. I mean, I got that little extra cushion for the pushing. I mean,
Oh God! Look,
dad bod
if
is
the dad bod is in, it's because it's safe, and
It's
they know
safe.
no other person is gonna want to take you. But that may not be true.
yo,
mean,
I know plenty of attractive females who like bigger, heavier set guys. Or
You know what?
See,
So-
yeah, I think you're confusing slob with just heavy set or whatever you want to
I
call
mean,
it.
overweight. I mean, not working
But
out.
you're not overweight.
You're not, Kenan. Now, are you fit, like toned? That's a different question. And that's what.
Dude,
And I
mean,
was getting
have
at
you
that.
seen
I was
this?
getting at that. Why is it that we drop that in priority? Now, granted, especially with as responsibilities start weighing in, family, career starts to take off. That you sleep less, you work longer hours. Where do you find the time, right? And then we feel sluggish throughout the day and forget that if we work out more, we have more energy to use because we increase our capacity to take in. And now I say this knowing that I don't do it as much. Any advice I ever dish out, I could take myself. You know, but it's true. If we're feeling sluggish, I never say this. I tell you, I swear to God,
I tell you.
I worked out the other day and I just couldn't go to sleep for the rest of the fucking day. And I worked out in the morning.
Yeah.
I was just so full of energy.
You're supposed to like work out in the morning, right?
People
a little
do
bit
cocaine,
to get your day.
they do like, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like beer or any substance you need to get you through the day, but we were given a lot of what we need already. Hormone rebalancing happens the minute we work out. I don't mean to campaign against this, but it's just I noticed across the board that even me now being 30, a lot of my thinking is changing. I don't know
Everything
why.
changes at 30.
So you do change. So
Right.
people can
Well,
change.
I was in favor of that to begin with. But what I'm
Okay.
saying is I want good change, productive
disagree.
change.
Yeah.
Well, but see, I'm saying at a core, people don't change at a core. Like
Like bad
yes,
habits.
of course you change habits.
Like
and you
once
change,
a savage,
you know,
always a savage.
yeah.
so what's a core element that you haven't changed that you know that hasn't changed since you discovered that core?
I think my personality hasn't changed.
But that's something.
As
that
long
changes
as you've known me, I've always been
Like you
the
still don't
same
give
guy.
a fuck.
I mean, you can attest to it. You've known me 20 years.
almost 25.
Tell them
Yeah.
what
We're
you
gonna-
think, Keenan. Tell them what you think.
All right. Here's what. I
How
really
much?
think.
Yeah, in the time that you've known me,
You a
how much have I
schoolboy
really
bitch.
changed?
Oh,
Hey, man. Sometimes you have to be.
No, I would. Yeah, okay. I would agree that there's a lot of things that you do that I'm like you've been doing that for decades.
Yeah.
And it hurts my feelings.
that was great.
Hey, man,
timing.
you tell me
Great
what it is, and I'll
timing.
change that, brother. I'm sorry.
You will really?
Except beating your ass in Dragon Ball Super.
Damn. Not gonna lie, Joe's been a little undefeated for a while.
He has. Anybody out there who's a good gamer, please come and challenge Joe
to
and shut
Dragon
his
Ball
ass up.
Fighter Z. If you are out there and you play Dragon Ball Fighter Z and you think you can roll with the best, send a DM.
Come see a real one. See me on some Soul Calibur,
Yeah.
on some Dragon Ball Fighter Z, some Jump Force. Well,
Some
Jump Force is
Street
still kind of
Fighter?
fresh.
Still
though.
new.
Street
Still
Fighter all day.
Yeah, I wouldn't
See-
touch Street Fighter.
Come
with
see
him.
these thumbs.
Do you think
He's
you can
insured.
actually develop a sort of like a dexterity on the thumbs if you've played
Of
games over the
Yeah,
years?
I think it's medically
Like
proven that.
hand-eye coordination kind of
Yeah,
shit?
yeah,
Muscle
sure.
memory. A lot of fighting
Yep.
games is just muscle memory.
pretty much.
Do you think it improves your ability to please your partner because your fingers are so?
So
You guys
What-
can't see it, but I'm like,
he's sucking his
Popping
thumb.
my thumb,
Yeah,
like-
he's popping it.
Joe's reenacting what he does when he uses his
himself.
hands and his tongue.
Because we know he doesn't get any.
Oh, whoa, wait, hey,
With that dad bod.
Hey,
No,
dog.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
hey,
kidding,
dog,
kidding.
I
hey,
can't
this
talk
dad
about
bod
that.
is safe, okay?
Just kidding. But back to who you are from your core.
Yeah.
There's I would say there's a lot of things that people say that I have that I've always done, and a lot of times I feel like that's not true. So where's the perception coming from of how do we know what is right
That's such a
rightfully your core?
great topic. Like, what beliefs do other people have about us individually that simply aren't true, and we don't know how to communicate? That's not true.
Yeah.
Where do we feel misunderstood? Because everyone, for a long time, I felt misunderstood for a lot of reasons I didn't even know were happening. And then you realize you've been saying one thing, but other people hear something else.
Completely different.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you said yourself, there are things that people have said.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's not true.
Yeah. But then how do I know that that's not true? If it's from myself, I'm like, well, you're wrong. But I don't see what you're seeing.
It's a little embarrassing, but I once read a book called
Little Train
People
That
Think
Could?
I'm an Asshole and I Don't Know Why.
Oh, yeah?
Legit. And if
Nice.
someone calls you an asshole, do you
Yeah.
really have a say on saying whether they're right or wrong? Like, you must have done something.
Yeah. I mean, I get called an asshole all the time.
It's because you're.
I am sometimes.
Here's the
No,
thing,
but,
though, right?
but that's
Here's the
their right. That's your right as an individual to call me an asshole if you think I'm an asshole. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for thinking that I'm an asshole.
how you respond to that is everything,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
So does that make up the core? Like, what makes up the core where you go, that is me?
Love it, take it or
without
leave it.
Without it being when you're saying that is me, that's the action reaction from the people around you. If nobody was around you in existence since you've been around, how can you say this is who I am? Isn't your judgment
I
on this
wouldn't.
who I'm based on
I
other
wouldn't have it.
people's
Yeah, I
inputs?
wouldn't have anything to base it off, so
Right.
I wouldn't know.
Right.
Like if there's nobody around me,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not gonna know the person I am because I don't interact with anybody.
Right. So I guess I'm trying to go to where, how do you know who you are without other people saying
Who are you as far as the unobserved?
Like,
Who am I?
You can't.
who am I?
Because you don't make up the core of who you are. It's kind of the other people
My
make up your
experiences,
core.
yes.
So is it nurture versus nature is basically what we're coming at.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if that's it.
Well,
And
maybe. I don't
scientifically,
know. I don't
there's
know.
a lot that comes with genetics. I think it's Steven Pinkler. I could be getting this wrong, but he wrote a book called Environment Now, and they essentially did a study about that there, as far as parents are concerned, they said something in regards to parenting. I was at my buddy Mark's house the other day, and he was telling me about the book, and he was saying that some parents think that if they control enough things, they can control the outcome of how their child is going to behave. But the truth is, there are some things genetically that are just going to be part of the kid's personality.
They can't change, yeah.
But then what really affects them are their friends.
Right.
The people that they spend time with when the parents aren't around.
Exactly.
And you can't control that. That's
Right.
where think of what we did growing up around our friends.
Right.
Fuck.
And again, that goes back to Keenan saying that it's the people around us that that pretty much decide who
make
we
up
are.
your core.
Make
They,
up who
like
we are, yeah.
we made you.
Yeah.
Our
That's what I'm
friends,
saying.
No,
our
but
friends
It's me
literally
taking
civilize
credit.
us.
Yeah.
But I've been pretty.
You've been pretty since day one?
I'm not pretty. I think I've been pretty consistent
Over the years?
over the years, regardless of who I've met.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, say for instance, after high school, you met a totally whole new group of people, and you only hung out with them for the next 10 years or so.
Mhm.
I'm thinking that you wouldn't be the same person in high school as you are with that new group of people because it's a whole new category.
I absolutely was.
Were you?
The type of individual I believe I was.
Oh, this is going to segue into something dope.
Go ahead.
Two things.
Do
Number
it.
one,
Take us there.
do you think you could go back in time to meet the younger you and beat your younger you's ass right now?
Ooh, shit.
Could you
wait, how did
beat
that
your
segue over
I'll
that?
I'll show you. Think about
Oh,
that.
okay.
Can you beat your younger you's ass right now? Like if you stepped up
I
to
could- I-
21-year-old you, fresh out, 21. What's up, homie?
yeah, I'm a weak ass bitch.
So-
All I have to do is
And
like
even
throw a little
weaker
pebble
then?
at me, like
Even weaker then? So do you feel stronger now than you did then?
I do, because I didn't work out when I was young.
Mm.
Well, I'm like 20 pounds heavier, so yeah. I
That too. I think
You could
yeah.
take- you could take
use
down-
pythons. Yeah, I think so.
Like just with
Yeah.
all the knowledge you have now, could you go up and be
Although my younger self would try to trick a way out and like really fuck me over, and like,
But I'd
"Ah,
already
fuck."
know what he's trying.
like, you'd be like,
Nah, player, I
don't
already know
do
what
it.
you're doing.
Don't
what you're
do
doing.
it.
Nah.
Which
I am you.
Which brings up like, okay, if you could travel back in time, and I know we've talked about this, you might
Where would I go?
materialize into the wall. So time travel scientifically isn't really that possible
Mm.
in so many respects. But if you could travel back in time,
Where would we go?
would you go to any? Can you find any point in time where you really wish you could?
Led Zeppelin, 1969.
You want to go
Are we
back
talking
to those
about
concerts?
no, but see now clarify. Are we talking about going back in time, like
In general?
in general,
How far back?
Or personal
with your
life?
own personal life?
Personal life. Okay, because if we did in general, shit, I'd go like to see how the pyramids were built and all that shit.
That'd
all
be
those mysteries.
Well, yeah, the Egyptian times.
Stonehenge.
Yeah, meet Jesus and be like, like now I was saying,
Fuck you.
Joe has a message for you.
Joe has a message for you with a gun. Be like, blah 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 blah.
Run
Come back from that.
You would drive by on Jesus Christ.
Come back from that, player.
That's got to be the snippet.
3
has
days
to be.
later.
What
Has
is
to
this?
be.
20 minutes
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Oh
Roll-
my God.
Say,
We're
what
not
kind
even
of-
20 minutes in, and Joe just said he would drive by on Jesus
On like
Christ.
a chariot.
Blah,
It'd be
blah,
like a
blah.
chariot on like some hydraulic
Nah, I
wheels
wouldn't,
and
man.
shit.
I wouldn't. Come on.
Hey,
Come
ah,
on.
don't go back on that.
I wouldn't. Come on.
We
you know I
are a
wouldn't.
fan of the Christian community.
No,
Hey,
no, okay.
man, this podcast is a fan of the.
As a
Christian
friend
community.
of all beliefs.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading
Yeah.
I'm reading The God Delusion right now by Richard Dawkins. Crazy the
a
number
good
of
book.
atheists in America,
Yeah.
and they don't publicly say it.
No.
They're
Because
afraid.
they get they get
Why are
cast
you
the first
afraid of
stone.
that shit anymore? Like,
And the founding
in the society
fathers,
that we live in today, you shouldn't be afraid to be an atheist because what's going to happen to you? Nothing.
There's a lot. There's people
it's
speaking
definitely
out.
political disaster
yeah.
if you're a politician.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
a
yeah,
politician,
That's why George Washington would attend church with his wife and then leave right away afterwards.
to go to the Freemason shit.
Yeah, because he was an atheist. It's, Jefferson, everyone, all of those people. Literally, this book right here called "The Age of Reason,"
Oh yeah, I know that.
written
book.
by
Yeah.
that's written because they left the UK specifically because they said if there is a God,
Mhm.
then he imbued us with reason, and reason should be how we lead. If he appreciates any quality, it's
Mhm.
that quality.
Thomas Jefferson has his own Bible, the Jefferson Bible,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
he
yeah.
edits out a lot of stuff that's like there's a lot of inconsistencies and shit, and just rewrote his own stuff.
he was like, "Yo, let me fix this shit. dog.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
wrong. That's wrong. That's
Yeah.
wrong."
yeah.
Yeah, what if you walked up? To
Let's take away
someone-
all these miracles. Let's just get rid of those.
Let's take away this walking on water shit.
Yeah.
Oh, can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
There's a very funny movie actually on Netflix, and I think it's a Spanish film, and it's about the Last Supper, but they play it as The Hangover.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
great. It's like Jesus Last Supper, and they're like drinking, going crazy, but the whole trailer is like The Hangover.
Oh, you
and
were
they,
telling me about
yeah,
this.
they get all fucked up and crazy and wild, then they wake up just like in The Hangover. Then they try to recall all the events that happened, all that shit.
And it's in Spanish?
It's in Spanish.
You know what it's called? What it's called?
I don't know. I know it's on
Cabron?
Netflix. I know it's on Netflix for sure. But it looks so funny, and I was like, I want to see this.
Right. So personal moments, time travel.
Oh yeah. So back, So you guys want to go first on that?
So many things.
You peaked in high school, right?
But then
You peaked in high school, bitch.
the thing is, then
My dick did.
and no cop outs with no, because then I wouldn't be the person I am today. Obviously,
no, I know where to go. But I would tell myself, I'd give myself, 5 fingers to the face, because I could have did a whole bunch of shit. Kid you not, I was with the professor.
Hey, what's
Substitute.
up?
ooh, the teacher fantasy, huh?
Teacher fantasy.
It was a dude, so I was not
hey,
in it. No.
okay, whatever it is, bro. Whatever.
Oh,
it
that's
is.
what you meant by the shoved in the right direction.
Oh, God. Anyway,
He should have shoved me harder.
A plus.
oh, guys, set myself up. No, we were going over stocks, and I was interested in investing in stocks at that
Finance.
time, and we talked about investing in Warner Brothers because my mom worked for Time Warner, and this was way before Harry Potter and all that shit was out,
Mhm.
and at the time Apple. This is before any of the iPods,
man.
any of the iPhone.
So you're kicking
this is
yourself in the foot every day of your life.
Yeah, literally 1999, 2000. I wanted to invest
Like
as
in the
in high
iMac.
school. Yeah,
Invest in
Was
Starbucks
just
and
coming
shit.
out.
All
yeah,
that.
with this teacher because I was
Wait, what
really-
year was it?
This was second year of high school.
99, you
okay.
said 99, 98,
99, yeah,
98.
sorry, 2000, 2001.
2000.
Yeah, and I was just, it was crazy because we were serious about it too, and I was really like, yeah, I want to
Fucking
invest
old-ass
$20 in this.
bastards.
But here
Fuck
I
you.
was being taught. Everybody says, "Oh, I wish somebody told me how to do it and all that stuff." And here I was with somebody
Who wanted to mentor
and was
you.
like, "Keenan, go and do it." And I was like, "Nah, I don't know. I was too. I don't know."
I'd rather masturbate.
Well,
Hey,
So
man.
you guys know my story. I was doing all this stuff.
it's like the younger you are, the more you think you actually know, and the older you are, the more you realize you don't know.
Well, should we be picking a time where it's not about teaching myself
it
something
could
or just a fun
it
moment?
could literally be anything, man. Because if I could have a similar example, I was in high school and there was a class that I took with Miss Coonan Lee. You might
That
remember the
sounds
names.
familiar. Yeah.
And she was teaching me graphic design, web design, using Adobe Dreamweaver, Adobe Photoshop, Flash, After Effects. I did all that and I excelled and didn't think twice because I remember I was in
was
advanced
fun.
composition right after
Yeah.
that class and they were like, where do you want to go to college? And I stood up. I shit you not. I stood up and I said, I don't need to go to college. I'm going to be famous in front of the fucking whole class.
And look at you now, 800 downloads in, man.
Can you believe the arrogance I had?
He's social media famous. You better get it right, motherfucker.
Well,
If
you
I-
were in some stuff.
If I could go back, and here my perception was skewed because I was doing shows every fucking night with my cousins. We were out. I've been going to bars since I was 14 and shit, like 15. It's my perception was so skewed
Yeah.
about who I thought I was and what I was doing. Looking back on it now, I wouldn't change all of that because it definitely made me who I am. But there are moments that I wish I would have taken more advantage of.
And I guess that, yeah, but I guess if we didn't have to pick something that changed, it was just a fun moment.
Yeah.
It would be when I met Joe for the first time.
Oh. This just took a sad
So-
turn.
What's up? Wait, why?
You remember the bungalow? No, I was what the
Fuck. Wait a minute.
Remember that day in camp?
You and I have.
They said their name was Joe. I thought it was you.
No, that wasn't me playing. I don't know. Maybe
Uh-oh.
Joanna. I don't know.
Dun, dun, dun.
No,
I don't think I would change. I don't think I would change anything.
There's no moment.
No, because
Joe's perfect.
I just don't want to go back in time. I just don't. I don't
pick
care to
the-
go.
the-
So
don't
you're
pick
not
your-
nostalgic at all.
Don't pick your own time. Pick something else. Like I
No,
said,
it's not that. I miss like the old days and stuff like that. I do, but it's not like I want to go back to it. No, I don't think so.
There was never a moment where kind of like me in Philly where you wish you knew something that you were in that
Skill
moment?
wise. So
I think
clearly,
we all do though. I think it's.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. What do you have?
Yeah.
One example, like a
Yeah.
story? To
for
tell
example,
us?
I say this all the time. You know, I started making beats when I was 14 and I can still barely play an instrument. That's something I have real shame of because I could have easily taken advantage of that, but I didn't.
And we had piano class at uni and all that stuff too.
There's like again, there's nothing you wish you took more advantage of.
Besides women,
Oh, wow.
Yo,
Hey, we are a friend of the woman community.
jeez, Keenan.
what's her name? Name it out. Let's put some names
Whoa,
on.
whoa. There's not one skill. Did you ever wish you could go back to commercials, for example? Remember until your brother took all your money from your commercials?
What about you? Damn.
No.
Oh,
no,
No, that's not Danny.
No.
So wait, what about music? I mean, you were doing a bunch of music. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
and
sure there was
things
some,
fall apart, and just that's the
but
way
there was
it is.
nothing that you said. If
Joe's
I
like,
went that
hey,
way-
No, because I
That's
feel
not talking about.
no, because
Oh.
I feel I did everything that I was supposed to
Oh,
do.
okay.
So
Right,
what am I
right.
going to change
Okay.
about myself? Nothing,
Right,
because I did what I was supposed to do.
Well, maybe there was a moment where you wish you did something else separate, and then you're just like, I'm on my own.
I think the only thing, it is because I've stated this before. Well, I haven't stated it, but there was one regret that I had.
Yeah.
Remember when we were talking about that a couple weeks ago, or was it last week? About having a regret.
My memory doesn't go that far back because
I
I don't know
want to
what
say
day
we.
today
I want to
is.
say we did. You mean like on the podcast? or
Yeah,
out-
yeah, on the
'cause
podcast.
We would talk about that outside of the podcast.
No, on the
but
podcast, like I want to say a couple weeks ago, we had a conversation
remember
about
the-
a
You're gonna
regret.
have to refresh our memory. Cause,
Maybe it was Devin.
Oh,
'Cause I
maybe
wasn't
yeah,
here.
because he was talking about college. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and that's when
I
you
guess
went to.
the only regret that I do have is that I didn't go to Cal Arts when I had the opportunity to go with a full scholarship.
Damn, I didn't
Oh,
know
maybe-
that.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
I just
Maybe I did
didn't.
know that,
I didn't
yeah.
speak on it. Like
yeah.
I didn't do anything. I had the opportunity to go to Cal Arts on a full scholarship,
On
whatever,
what
and everything.
subject? Like what was the major?
Theater,
Oh, it's theater.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, you did
okay.
enough theater to deserve
and I
that.
just
yeah.
didn't.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't do it. Like
Okay, but I thought your interest in theater wasn't that high for you, and I think that's the
I mean, it
reason why
was
you're like,
for
I'm not
years.
going because my interest.
no,
in theater is
well, yeah, actually, it was that's
It was
what
very
happened.
high?
That's
Joe
what it was.
wanted to be an actor.
Well,
from
no,
what I
but
remember,
that's-
yeah.
the reason I didn't do it was because I was already starting to do music and do other
With Mad
things.
Flav and stuff.
Yeah, and so I was starting. No, Mad Flav wasn't a thing.
a thing yet.
But I was starting to do music and singing more and shit, and I was like,
Story
I
of
don't
my
even
fucking
go to
life,
Cal all the
man.
time. And it was really like, maybe I should have gone. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's not. It can't.
No. And again,
You know what I mean?
I don't mean to bring that up to sort of make you think in that direction. What I'm saying is, it's funny how often as people we think that we have to do things alone or that our accomplishments are going to happen alone. And it's not until these years that we start to wise up and realize that independence is not the pinnacle of human excellence.
No.
It's
Yeah,
interdependence.
you need to
Yeah,
group it up.
Only the mature can truly work together to achieve a goal.
Mature.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Starting anything like from solid scratch by yourself is 10 times more difficult.
Even Michael Jordan had a coach, dude. Tiger Woods. Somebody always has someone in their corner or a whole team. And especially with entertainment, you need a whole community.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So guys, just continue to listen to this podcast. We love you, and
yeah,
we're gonna be here.
We're trying to get Philly
always
famous.
for you, Philly
Make sure
famous.
Joe has no regrets doing the podcast.
You know,
One of these days, we're gonna have to do a live podcast on the CalArts stage.
On the South. Okay.
That would be
CalArts
sick.
stage. That's
We
funny.
should be having. I thought we were having a podcast live next month. Was
Yeah.
that not-
We're still,
Yeah, we have that plan.
We're still
Okay.
working out the kinks on that, but it
It's
will happen.
live, huh?
No,
It's not live. It just means
but
on location.
Yeah, on
But
location.
okay,
Yeah.
a live show. Yeah, at
Eventually, we
CalArts.
will have a live show. No, it doesn't
Or
necessarily
does it
have to be at
CalArts?
CalArts.
Okay.
No, man.
Oh,
Come on.
I thought
See,
that
that's the
was a
thing,
joke.
though. I don't dwell on that shit. Like CalArts was a situation, and I've hardly ever thought about it ever again. You know, like
I will
it
say
wasn't
though,
until we
I
had that
never
conversation.
once ever heard that story
Yeah.
in all the years.
So you tried to suppress
Yeah,
it.
because yes,
So
exactly.
if we say CalArts again, will a little tear come down your cheek?
no, that's what I'm saying. It's not like
CalArts. Oh, okay.
it's not it's not a thing. Like that's why, to me, when I didn't go and I've it was whatever.
Hey, even if you did go, or go into certain establishments like I did, it could hurt you bad in the long run. As you both know, I'm in a ridiculous amount of debt going to a state school up in the Bay Area.
Yeah, scholarship though, full on scholarship.
Yeah, I had a scholarship.
Oh,
Entire
would've won.
complete.
fuck what I was saying.
scholarship.
But I was just like,
Yeah, damn it.
I'm gonna go make
See,
this music.
Now
good.
that kind of makes me a little bit jealous and slightly frustrated, because here I am with that goal of going to those established universities, and I
Being
wish
a
I
part of
had
STEM education.
a
but
scholarship.
see, like,
because that scholarship, I hope it went to somebody who
yeah, I'm
wanted
sure
to.
it did.
Oh, okay,
I'm sure
yeah.
it went to somebody who absolutely deserved it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
to me, it wasn't like I wasn't invested enough anymore into that culture to want to continue it.
How did
know?
you get that scholarship, by the way? Because a lot.
I
I'm
don't
just saying.
remember.
I know I'm in super debt, but
I honestly don't even
He's
remember.
looking
don't
at you, guys going, "Wait a minute,
I'm telling you, it's like it
Me.
wasn't a thing.
well, there's just a lot. There's a lot of people out there who don't even know where to go, who to talk to.
Right.
I remember a friend of mine was talking about their what's the not HR, but the career person at their high school counselor was telling them to not go to college, just get a regular ass job, and then don't even think about going to getting a scholarship or grants or anything like that. Like you're not. And I was like,
They said the
dang.
same thing to Johnny Depp in high school. His principal called him into the
Yeah.
office and he was like, "Hey, I don't think school is going to be a place for you. What I would do is I think you have a lot of talent with the guitar. You should just start hitting the road now." And that's why Johnny Depp thought for a long time he was going to be a musician. And then one day his band gets called into a meeting, but at that time he was struggling to pay rent. So with his girlfriend at the time, they were like, he was talking about it with her, and she's like, "Well, do what you got to do." And he's like, "Look, I have this audition for this movie called Friday the 13th, or I can go to this meeting with my band to see if we get signed to this label." And he told the band, "Sorry guys, I got to go to this audition." My friend Nicolas Cage told me that this is where I need to be.
Your friend Nicolas Cage?
That's what Johnny Depp said.
Oh, okay. They mean your friend Philly. I was like, what?
Why you got to say it so condescending like that? Like he couldn't know Nicolas Cage?
Because he can't.
I actually
No,
know.
sorry.
I actually happen to
Motherfucker.
know one of the Coppolas,
Just
No,
messing with
asshole.
Philly. Yeah.
and you know the rest is history. His band got shelved,
Mhm.
even though they got signed, and he
Mhm.
went on to pay his rent for many years to
Mhm.
come.
College, and I agree with Joe when we spoke about this, because I am a college head, but college isn't really meant for everybody either, especially nowadays with the way they have their establishment set up. it really screws you over. And if you have certain interests in a particular topic, you can definitely hone in on that at any other type of like trade school or specific category, stuff like that. Community college is great. I've been to a few of those. City college is great. I've been to a few of those. But me and Joe would have conversations outside the podcast about this, and I do agree with them. You don't have to. It's not a God-given mandatory thing, you know?
Yeah, you don't have to go to college. I mean, I didn't go to college, and look how I turned out.
College is definitely not what it used to be.
But the person who went to college helped you get to where you are.
Oh, God. Here we go. Look at Keenan taking full credit everywhere he can.
But he couldn't help himself.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun,
I can play this game too, motherfucker.
He's right. Damn it, Joe.
I think.
But again, that goes to community and you know, having to work with people, having people help you.
What do you think it is that drives people to make their decisions the way they do? Do you think it's an emotional quality, an intellectual quality?
For what category is it? Professional, relational,
you can have
financial?
You can have two people given the same opportunities and treat them entirely differently.
Mm.
And treat them entirely.
Yeah, like one won't take as much advantage as the other and get nowhere with it. With the starting from the same level.
Yeah.
It's just like playing the game telephone. You tell one person a story, by the time it comes back to you, it's different. What do you think it is? I think I would argue it's an emotional quality. There's something emotionally that gets in our way, psychologically, like that emotional barrier. But it could be, I don't know. I just think a lot of us have at the bare minimum, 24 hours in a day, right? Now, some of us get those hours cut up a lot more because we'll have children or we'll have careers that really demand a lot of our hours. Right? At the end of the day, we still have that basic 24 hours. So then at that point, it comes down to skills and the time you took to invest to develop them, which is based on priority, right? What you think is more important. You think it's more important to spend your time gaming up, dating and chasing tail, vice versa, right? Either men or women chasing for sex and those stories. Like, what do you think really drives us to make those decisions, constantly knowing that they're going against our better well-being?
Well, that's something that's very universal, right? Because I mean, depending on, just because I'm not sure if you're talking about in this modern day and age.
Yeah.
Because if you are, I think that human element has been around since the moment we started walking. I'm pretty sure all those things you came up with is the same thing that happened with, throughout the Egyptian Empire, the Roman Empire, especially when you study ancient history. You see nature? the things and the drives that people do to get stuff done and built.
Sex drives, hunger drives.
Yeah. I mean,
this is me playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
Go, Joe.
What makes you think we have to use every single minute of our time, of our lives, doing something?
Right. The question
why?
is,
but you're always doing something, no matter what. Even if you're sleeping, you're doing something.
Yeah, but why?
To what responsibility do you owe that to?
What? Who do you owe anything to for you to have to do something productive every single day, every single minute of your life?
The question is,
like, who do you have to do that for?
Wouldn't you go crazy if you weren't productive at all?
Absolutely not.
Right. The question is, how much of my life should I spend enjoying it, and how much of my life should I spend improving the world? Right. For some people, like, improving the world makes them feel so much better. The act itself is intrinsically rewarding, as opposed to just enjoying life. For some people, loafing around just doesn't feel right to them. In their heart of hearts, it doesn't call to them as the Japanese would say, their ikigai, their reason to live. But all of us have something in us that drives us in one way or another. And you're right. No, there's no responsibility other than one you take upon yourself to be that leader.
So is your counteract the answer, trying to answer this question, the ikigai stuff, the reason to live? You're saying that people don't really need a reason to live; they just live.
They can just exist.
They don't. Yeah, I don't feel a person needs to be productive at all times to live.
What you're saying? You're saying it can be more balanced. It doesn't have to be so one-dimensional.
I take care of my responsibilities, and then once I've taken care of all my responsibilities that I feel I have to do, like, if I have to watch my kids, or if I have to go to work, or if I have a job, I have to go do something. The rest of that time,
That's your time.
I would not do. If I didn't have to do anything, I would do shit. I wouldn't do shit. Like I'd watch a movie or I'd play some games, and to me that it's perfectly fine.
That's
Like I don't have to feel.
That's,
yeah, but
that is
no,
your purpose for living,
but I'm talking
right?
about productivity, because he's talking about being productive.
Oh, okay.
So some people
yeah.
playing video games and watching movies and slacking off is not productive. Like there has to be you have to be learning something, or you have to be teaching something, or you have to be doing something that improves, the world in general.
Yeah, in that case, I would be on Joe's side. Like to me, that's kind of silly.
It's the chase of fulfillment, right? So everyone has a dream in life, and if you're granted, you have general responsibilities, especially as you become a parent, and your career. If your career isn't exactly the dream that you wanted to see to live in, the world you want to live in, at the end of the day, then you can fall on no one other than yourself for not having that dream realized.
You cannot bitch about not having what you want.
And what I'm saying is there's a lot of people that have ambitions that are greater than their work ethic. As long as you don't have those ambitions, then I have nothing to say, right? Because you don't have those ambitions. But if you have those ambitions and then you talk shit and complain that your life isn't the way you want it to be,
right?
That's different.
Yeah, exactly.
That is
exactly.
okay. Then I agree with you, because you're setting those.
Right.
You're setting those what's the word? Expectations on yourself.
Yeah.
Then yes, I definitely agree with you.
Like if you
that's
have
something
that
we
dream,
all agree on.
You're wasting your goddamn time.
That's a first for the podcast.
So you can't really complain. That's a fucking life, fucking asshole.
Oh yeah,
we've agreed before.
What's the other one?
Me beating your ass.
Video games. Oh, in video games. Oh yeah. Okay, video.
I wouldn't touch you like that. Come on. Best friends to the end.
Hey.
Yeah. We just had high five.
Although I don't know, sometimes you got to get the headgear and the boxing gloves out. You know what I mean? And just see what happens.
And the oil, the baby oil.
Would you want to squat with me on some boxing with some boxing gloves?
I do it.
You would?
Yeah, you know why? Because I have the long reach.
That means I have the speed.
Yeah, you do. Yes. So if I could just move my hands around quick enough,
he'd be like, "Ha!"
We should make memes or graphics. Keenan, I know you could take lead on this of like our stat bars. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what we have. One of our t-shirts we're gonna make is the very first one where it was like El Guapo, Pruny, and
Latino Extra.
And on the back it would say our stats as video game characters,
like charisma.
Yeah. Joe would have like a high charisma and all that shit. I would have high magic power but low dexterity. Yeah, it'll be all there, but I haven't made it yet. But we're on the same level.
Okay.
So yeah, productivity. I mean, it's in the eye of the beholder, I guess.
Right, because I'm sure you guys have friends that come to you and they're like, "Oh, I have these ambitions,"
and you're like, "Well, you're not doing anything."
But then they sit there and they don't do it. So,
especially in the entertainment industry in Hollywood, there's a lot of, I won't name names, but there are people that I do know who do feel frustrated that they're not getting the kind of roles and things that they want, and then I come at them as politely as I possibly can. So hopefully they listen to this. I'm just trying to reiterate that if you really want to get that job or that acting thing going, you really got to get out there and start doing a whole bunch of stuff. Like you can't have time to hang out with anybody until you land that role or get that sort of
right. And then once you get that, then you've earned the little bit of freedom that you want. But don't say you have these dreams and then do nothing about it.
There's that's set on yourself.
Right.
Those expectations are your own expectations.
But
so
people
don't complain about your own shortcomings.
Yeah, and they'll say things aren't fair, or somebody else is treating them wrong, or the whole
anyone but themselves.
The way it's set up, the system is not fair, and it's not fair to a lot of people.
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be fair. If it was fair, everyone would get ahead.
And this is a very bad thing, and hopefully, the people in the room don't get really, really upset, but there's
no one but us.
Well, and if people listening, I hope people listening don't get really upset at what I was about to say, but there was a thing that I wanted to post, but I didn't post it because I knew it kind of came out wrong. But it was a thought about where the Me Too movement was really bringing out really heavily, and I was going to post saying that now everybody in the industry is going to have to base you on your talent, instead of, the people who give head and stuff like that to get that higher role.
Both men and women have been known in history to sleep their way up the ladder. Right. Russell Brand is one case. He's openly admitted that he slept his way into Hollywood.
Yeah. So it's like,
I don't think that's going to change.
Oh,
I think it's a situation right now, but I don't think it's going to change.
I just thought that when people want things to be even and fair,
right
now the challenge is going to be like
now you really got to have 50 the fucking
times
skills.
Yeah, you're going to have to really be talented.
You can't just be good looking.
Yeah.
I just don't think I don't think it's going to change.
Oh,
I think right now.
I know. I'm just saying.
I think right now, yeah, definitely right now
because of the political climate,
because of the way
people are sensitive.
Yeah. But imagine if, like, let's say that stuff didn't exist at all, and you still have what 10 or hundreds or thousands of people going into one audition, and you think you're better than everybody else.
I like what you're coming at because we talked about this before. You're worth a damn factor, right? Like, are you really worth that damn? Because if you're really that good, people will notice.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're really that good, people will notice. And there are a lot of people that are mediocre. Like, I'm a great performer. I think I bring an interesting energy. I don't think I'm the best fucking singer. In fact, I know I'm not. And I don't practice enough to walk around thinking that I am.
But when people hear you sing, they go, "Oh, this guy's good," and they try to help you out or hook you up or link you up. Now, I'm not taking credit for this, guys. I'm just saying there's a lot of people who do listen to hear you sing, and they say you are good.
Right.
Just to add on to what you're saying, that if you are good, people will notice.
Yeah, people will notice. People will notice. You got to put the work in, though.
Yeah.
If you sit around and you never practice your craft, because to have any craft, you have to be a practitioner. People who talk shit a lot, they're people who spend their days talking shit, coming up with ways to talk shit, thinking of the best arguments to have, right? You got to eat, sleep, and breathe that shit if you have an ambition.
And that also goes even racially, too. A lot of people in my community are saying that the system is very unfair for the black community to get jobs. But I've always been able to get jobs based on my resume and my skills. Now, I may do my sorry to bother you white voice just to, when I'm on the phone talking to them.
Movie.
When they see me in person, it's like, it's a black guy. So it's like,
hey, what's going on?
It is.
And the challenge is always this. And the thing is, you did grow up in the hood. So people can't use that with you. But they
can't use that against
And there are people that will say, oh, well, I grew up in the hood. I had the opportunities that I had.
Right.
And that's why I speak this way. That's why I talk this way. And that's why I can't get out of this way. And
that's not 100% true.
Yeah,
there's just that mentality and attitude, like you both were saying, that I agree with.
I still remember a day, and now we have some people sitting in on the session listening while we're doing this podcast. I still remember a day I was in East LA and I just picked up a bagel in the morning with my cousin Danny, and as we're walking down this long hill, a truck tried to run us over, and as it tried to run us over, they scream out of the window, "Hey, it's White Fence!" Woo, 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 woo! Like, just came at us.
That was a White Fence.
White Fence is the name of a gang in East LA. And again, no problem with them. What I'm saying is, it's those individuals like that with that mentality,
right,
that they feel like they have to go around proving something at 6 in the fucking morning to claim a hood when there's nobody else in the streets for no apparent reason other than they need to reassert their significance in the world because they have no skills.
Both our communities tend to do that, and it really boggles my mind why. Where did that stimulate from?
Fear.
The original
Fear and a feeling of insignificance. That's all that is. That's a band of people who grouped together out of fear and a feeling of inferiority and insignificance that said to themselves, while it may have one point in time been true that they were segregated, that they were treated poorly, they chose a violent path and a violent path in ignorance, as opposed to a path of pride, diligence, and hard work.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
because I'm sure those same individuals could be great community leaders.
Yeah. They have the exact same skills for
It's
it.
the same thing.
Yeah, isn't that weird? I mean, they run the hood, but you're running it into the ground.
Fear, but through fear too.
Yeah.
Through fear.
When they could be community, because a lot of it's proven because there are a lot of former gang members and former this and former that now do the opposite of what they used to do and are great at it.
Right.
Same way
we have homies like that like are part of Homeboys Industries and fucking
exactly. Who used to be hardcore gang members or drug addicts or all these things. They went the opposite route, started advocating for the right side of things,
right?
And now they're great at it.
Yeah.
So it's a proven fact that you can do it. And it's just like, like you said, ignorance, insecurities, and a bunch of shit.
Isn't it crazy? You could have the same opportunities. I was living in the same neighborhood as them. I could have made friends with someone and thought that that was the way to go, but I always decided against that because it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wrong. How can anyone sit there and think that's the only way to go?
Where did you both learn how to do the rights and wrongs? Did anybody?
Isn't that crazy? Like, where do we really learn the rights and wrongs?
I think some of it is
some comes from Bible reading and study as kids,
or parents or something like that. But
friends.
Like you said, we would be around friends more than we would be around our own folks. Did you say that?
Yeah.
So it's like, where do we grab that the morality of our lives? Like, because there's things you do that I would probably think is wrong.
Television, video games,
and vice versa. But like
the 90s kids were raised on television. That much is true. In particular, 90s kids were raised.
I was raised on streets.
Hey, on everything I love.
I was 6 years old in 1990, player.
Oh God.
I was born in '89, so I just came out of that sperm. Just 1 year out of just a year ago, I was nothing but a sperm. Damn, to think we were all once a sperm and an egg.
We're in somebody's nuts.
That's a good question, though. Like, where? I mean,
my morality came out of somebody's nutsack and ovaries.
Here's some morality for you, right on your forehead. No, but yeah, like who was the one that taught you? Did anybody teach you the right and wrongs? You just figure out like, hey, that doesn't look right. I think I'm not going to do that.
This is so meta because again, that book, The God Delusion, Richard Dawkins talks about how he finds it ironic that the minute you ask a scientist a question that relates to
morality,
to theory-based things like, oh God, right? They always theology. That's what I was looking for. They always go, oh, that's a little out of the realm of science. I think we better leave that to our brothers who are actually studying faith.
Mm-hmm.
And Richard Dawkins argues, why are they any better qualified than a scientist? Hell, a gardener is equally qualified as a priest to discuss the theory of whether a God exists or not and where our morality and spirituality comes from.
Yeah,
Anyone.
I can see how religious people would hate that statement.
But it's
Richard
true.
Dawkins. Yeah.
How can they, in fact, for them to say, oh, you don't believe in a God? Well, prove to me why that doesn't exist. That's wrong. They have to be the ones to prove why a God does exist.
And you should listen to.
And when I say they, I speak in generalities. It's not that I'm saying I stand on either side.
We're talking about religious communities.
Joseph.
I'll say it, Phil.
He's going to go back in time.
Don't worry about it. I got you covered on this one, bro.
You should watch a lot of his interviews.
But it's true. You're right.
Yeah.
Now, whether you're talking about scientists or atheists or agnostics or whatever, well, agnostics actually believe that there's a higher being. But okay, so for example, and I think you and I had a conversation about this the other day. Sorry, Keenan, we talk.
Yeah. They talked. They watched the movie. They played video games.
But you know what? Keenan acts like Keenan and I don't hang out without you.
Shit.
We just talk about different things. We talk about different things.
Damn it.
I thought you were my best friend.
You know what? When I die, I want videos to come out like they did with Tupac, where they were like, who was he? They're like, oh, for me, he was this. Oh, for me, he was that. And that's right. I was many things to many people.
Philly was a schoolboy bitch.
No, but you're right. It should be up to the religious. It should be up to the believers
to prove otherwise.
To bear the burden of proof.
Yeah.
But it's all.
I shouldn't have to prove to you why I don't believe there's a God.
Yeah.
I just don't believe. You should.
For all we know, how do we not know that a tea kettle truly is the master of the universe? We don't know that. It's equally plausible as a question as some creative force.
Yeah.
It's the pussy, guys. It's the mother.
So Ariana got it right? Ariana Grande got it right?
I believe God is a one. No. I believe God is a vagina.
That's what she said?
Yeah, God is a woman, yeah.
Oh, wait.
She said vagina.
No, but Ariana Grande did.
She made a song called God is a Woman.
But as in, like, she wasn't talking about, she just meant the woman essence.
People are talking about the divine femininity.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for.
Mother Earth.
Shit.
Yeah.
I know I'm trash, so women. Women.
Joe's saying he's a slave to the pussy.
It's a shame he doesn't get me.
Not in so many words because I'm in a dedicated relationship. Really, please. Come on.
Hey,
and there's only one vagina for me.
No, you didn't. Not on this show.
He cried.
Not on this show.
Oh man, but yeah, it's to keep adding on to that. It's so trippy because when you talk to a lot of these mainstream religions, you start talking about the non-mainstream religions to them, aka things like Scientology and things that I am familiar with. I think Agape is one of them, and MSIA.
Yeah, the
and all
Agape
stuff.
churches are fun.
And when you talk to them about that, yeah,
Rastafari.
those major religions, the people in them was like that's not true. That doesn't exist. And even them against themselves.
Oh, dude, anyone who claims, hey, if you don't believe what I believe, you're going to hell.
Right.
Who the fuck are you?
They could go to hell.
And we don't do that in the science community.
That's clearly like for you to say you don't believe what I believe, you're going to hell. That's a cause for you to go to hell.
Yeah. Everybody's going to hell in each other's religions anyway. That's why you got to be a scientist.
That's why you got to be a scientist.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I'm staying right here, man. I'm living forever through my music and my media.
When Keenan starts to pray, he's like, Neil deGrasse Tyson the Christ. What do you believe I should do?
In Neil we trust.
And he's like, E equals MC squared, Keenan. E equals MC.
Like, oh, that theory is refuted often. You know?
Oh my god. But yeah, it's really trippy when you
I think for any imperfect creature to try to decipher what perfection is, while albeit a strong argument for what is not perfect should have everything needed to define what perfect is. And yet at the same time, I think on either end of the spectrum, it's an irreconcilable idea for the perfect to claim to understand the imperfect and for the imperfect to claim they can understand the perfect.
And where do we come up with this shit? Like what the fuck was the first religion that ever existed?
I think it was called
and how did we come up with that?
It was a sex. That was the first religion.
Oh, the mother god.
Come on, get it together.
Because it was so good.
And the
it's
leader
like,
of the
has
pack,
to be heavenly.
the leader of the pack saying, God sent me to be the leader of this pack.
So
and that's why I can sleep with all the women and all of you have to be my beta males.
Yeah.
And if you go against me, God will strike you down. And they were like,
What if sex wasn't that good in the beginning? I wonder what it would be.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't. If you think about hygiene back in the days, how did that work?
Well, we were sexually attracted, and we still have that genealogy of like the body odor, and like you're supposed to have the hair on your genitals and stuff like that because it's supposed to be a sexual stimulant. So
you mean the fro don't gotta go?
No. You gotta keep that fro. Apparently, it's like
that fro went today, player. That shit went today.
Joe shaved it off.
I was like, yo.
That's why
Amazon has arisen.
If some wind just comes by his crotch, he gets like a full hard on. Yeah.
Joe said,
brushes
right
on
now,
me gently.
I'm as smooth as a baby's bottom, baby.
Smooth as eggs.
A little bit of stubblies. That's the way I like it.
I had to live for the aesthetics.
I don't like to go full bald. You know, I like a little bit of 5 o'clock shadow. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
wait a minute. You guys gave me shit for thinking about other men and how they shave their genitals, and now you're full on talking about it.
Yeah, we're talking about our own genitals.
It ain't no thing.
But I'm talking about my own genitals.
Yeah, but openly to us, so we know what it looks like now. We can literally visualize it and draw it up.
I think your argument was. Do you guys ever sit around and look at and wonder what other people's genitals look like, or do women ever sit around and go, "I wonder if that girl has a shaved fro"?
I did both, men and women. I'm an equal opportunity offender, as you all know.
And I don't think women ever sit.
I ran into a few women who say they actually do question whether or not if the other female they see, if their private parts.
Were they also trying to go get that girl's number?
I don't know. But I mean, like, guys will joke about, oh, he's so tall, he has big shoes, he must have a big dick or something like that.
And apparently that's not true. That's not always true.
Why are you looking at me like
that?
No,
I'm not looking at you like anything.
Because you have an inverted penis.
Keenan, you already told us your penis looks like a flan.
No, when I come,
it's jizz.
It's jizz when it comes out because it fills up.
That's right. Yeah. That's nasty.
But
see, I pictured that.
Oh, what?
Joe was thinking about it all night last night.
Hey, if I can picture your dick, you can picture my dick.
In fact, it's almost the only way it's got to go down. If you see a man's penis, you got to show him yours too.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
That's
here
law.
you go.
Then you're like, where is it? Oh, just pull back the hair.
It's in the Amazon of my pants.
Get ready for an expedition. We're going to El Dorado.
Cue the circle of life as the skin pulls back. Like Rafiki holding up a baby Simba.
That made me think of a really funny joke. I'll say it later outside of the podcast. I'll think of it if I can remember.
I'm very aroused.
Oh, what? Talking about
That's
male
a-
genitalia?
No, that's a movie reference to Anchorman.
Anchorman.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
you know what
Yeah.
my sense of humor is based around movie references.
Mm.
So it's hard because otherwise I'm
Yeah,
not
it
funny
is.
at all.
Oh,
It's just the truth.
well,
I'm too serious for it to work any other
only
way.
if you learn of comedic timing, delivery, how it's delivered, context, stuff like that.
So I thought I could do that because I can learn almost anything. But the minute I try to study comedy,
Ooh,
I've-
big guy
the-
over
the-
here.
the-
Like,
the
I
two-
can learn anything.
the two
Yeah.
basic rules, it's a true belief of mine that if you put your mind to it, anything can be learned.
that sounds like you, and I think that's been like you for the longest
I
time.
tried
Yeah,
to
it
learn
has.
comedy.
Yeah.
Look at his books.
Yeah.
Zing.
Take a photo.
Whammy.
Of it.
That's gonna be the cover art for the snippet we share.
This is just your books.
Just my books. You
Yeah.
know, my
Got
books
big
are a
books.
replacement for my penis.
Oh, jeez. Huh?
Woo! It's getting hot in here. No.
It's this scarf.
Yeah.
Shit, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah,
God
the
damn.
scarf. Scarf.
Right. So there's only two basic rules of comedy that I learned, and other than timing, which comes naturally, and it's supposed to be that you have a point of reference
Mm-hmm.
or an experience that you want to share,
Yeah.
and an opinion on it
Yeah.
or a position. If you have an opinion and an experience, you can be a comedian so long as you have a good sense of humor.
Mhm.
That's it. That, and then it takes some structure, reading a crowd.
Timing.
But these are performance skills that any public speaker should learn.
So if you watch and those movies, those comedic movies and stuff like that, and you try to learn when they said it and how they said it, yeah, for sure.
Because you guys all watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? Back
Well,
in
I
the-
wouldn't
growing up.
reference things like, I mean, that's
No,
kinda,
because what I'm saying is
It's all right.
is
That's
there
a
was
good
an
show.
episode where Will Smith, I think,
They
was
tried to do comedy.
with D.L. Hughley, right?
That was hilarious. That was a very funny bit.
and he was like, I can do it too. And
Yeah.
D.L. Hughley was like, okay, get up there and
he
do
did
it.
such a badass.
And he was trying to
joke.
make
It's
like
so
fun
stupid.
of Carlton, and it didn't work.
Well, he did, and then he did something about like, oh, what does a one armed person look like when they're clapping or something like that? And he was like moving his shoulder. It was really
Very
really
Jim
stupid.
Carrey
It was
based
very
comedy.
cheesy.
Yeah, it was like Jim Carrey comedy.
Well, Jim Carrey is an and if you're listening, Jim Carrey, don't mean this in a bad way, but if he's an okay stand-up comic, but he's a great performance comic.
Right, there's a difference.
There's a big difference between stand-up and doing a comedic act or a comedic delivery that's already been written down on paper. And I think that's the same with me for Donald Glover too. He's a
Mm.
great comedic performer, but as a stand-up, I saw both his specials, and it was like, it was good. It was good, but I
Right.
wasn't like
Like Bill Burr,
decent.
you know, Bill Hicks,
Bill George
George
all them.
Carlin, Richard Pryor,
Great
Dave
stand-ups.
Chappelle,
Robin Williams.
Robin
Williams.
Yes. Even when Steve Martin and Martin Short got back together, you could see how amazingly good they are at their craft at doing stand-up. Just
Yeah.
down fine. And a very underrated one, Rodney Dangerfield. Always doing those one line. He's
man.
perfect.
Rodney, I'll never forget what he said. What was it? One day a girl told me to come over, nobody was home. I go over, nobody was home.
Yeah.
Like, or he's like, I think he was on the David Letterman show. He's like,
Johnny Carson?
Yeah,
Or
Johnny
David?
Carson.
Yeah.
Johnny Carson. He's
Yeah.
like, how are you doing? He's like, I'm doing fine. You know, I haven't had sex in 3 months. No. I haven't had sex in 6 months. For my wife, it's been 3. You know, that kind of thing. And
yeah.
so I don't know.
So he's
Just-
great at doing that stuff. He's the kind of comic where you go, hey, say something funny. And he'll say something funny right on the
Right off the
spot.
bat.
Yeah.
Although then you hear the
Those
stories of the
one-liners.
people that knew him personally, and he would open the door with nothing but a robe on and
Yeah.
open,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, "Oh God."
I know. Now that's totally unacceptable.
That's
Yeah.
like some shit Joe would do, though.
As a matter of fact, Joe did see you. Joe saw your asshole.
Oh
So
God,
have you seen Joe's asshole then?
No, I haven't, and I don't want to.
All right.
Actually,
This
you
is
know
now
what,
the
though?
time on the new podcast.
Every time I go to his crib and he's going
You're
up the
hoping to see
stairs
it?
to his
Oh.
room, no. He'll be like, Phil. And as I turn around, he's mooning me for no fucking reason.
That sounds like something I would do for sure.
Or
Yeah.
I'll have like the towel hanging off my dick. It's like,
I'll be like, Phil. And I'll turn around in the middle of me playing a game or something. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
He's like,
That's the one thing I'm proud of. I can actually hold a towel when I'm fully erect on my dick. I did it once before. It was pretty hilarious. I did.
he just said the one thing he's
practiced it.
proud
I
of.
did it once before. It's happened.
One day my dick was big enough that it could hold a
Yeah.
towel up.
It made my girlfriend laugh at the time. It was so funny. I did like the full arm salute. Like, yeah, it was cool.
So, ladies, if you're out there, his number is 213.
He's like, no, but really DM me.
No, seriously, slide into the DMs.
I actually just joined
Keenan
the
Duncan.
Circle dating app.
The Inner Circle.
The Inner Circle dating app. I just joined it. I am online
Yes.
now with only one
It gets
picture.
great suggestions for like it'll have people say where they want to go on a date to,
Mhm.
and you can take them out. It's like for people who are seriously considering online dating.
Well,
And I
yeah.
don't think there's anything wrong with online dating in the world of today. It's not the way we've always known, but there's nothing wrong with it. Meeting people online, shit. I think we talked about this. You
I can
met
attest to that.
yeah, the person you've had children with now, your girl, Sonia.
Sonia,
Yeah, you guys-
You know her name? Say her name, Philip. Say her name.
Sonia. You guys met online.
Yeah, we did.
Shit, fucking was it Techno for us or what?
Nah, it was
Fish for
MySpace.
Rose?
T-Pixel?
Oh,
MySpace. Oh,
MySpace.
MySpace.
She hit me up on MySpace. She was like, "What's up? You want a friend?" And I was like, "Yo, sorry, what's up?"
And this is all text based, so it didn't sound like
It
that.
didn't sound like that. Like, yo, she did ask me if I wanted. Oh, I wonder if I still have. No,
You know
Still
what? I
have it?
tried
Like,
to
I never
log back
deleted
into my
it. You can't?
MySpace.
Do you remember your password
erased
stuff?
everything except for your profile image
Yeah, because they did
and the
update.
friends that you connected
They
to.
changed. Yeah,
the
they
minute
changed the interface.
Justin Timberlake bought it,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
all data was erased.
yeah,
that sucks.
I know.
But
But
my band's songs are still up there.
it
somehow.
is.
Yeah.
What?
Paparazzi Paycheck.
That was the name of your band,
Cool,
Paparazzi Paycheck.
Yeah. But apparently, everyone except for two other people in the band hated that name. I didn't know that.
It
They thought it
sounds-
was corny. Which,
Well, what is the significance of Paparazzi Paycheck?
Think about it.
how does a paparazzi get paid?
By messing
By
with
taking
artists
pictures of famous people.
in their worst
And we
condition.
were famous people.
Oh,
That's the whole idea. Well, not only
They're
in their worst condition.
they're the
Oh, say it.
paparazzi's paycheck because they're going to be taking pictures of
oh,
them.
Dun,
that's
dun,
why the
dun.
word doesn't work because I don't get it.
And you know what's crazy is one time we played at the Whiskey A Go Go, and right after we got off stage, while the band was outside with all the gear, I walked back in to hear the band go up after us.
Mhm. They're
And this
better.
guy that looked like he was like an older version of Brandon Boyd from Incubus. He was like, "Now that Papa Roach is off the stage, we can get back to some real rock and roll." I was like,
Oh,
"This
fuck.
motherfucker!" I was like, "All right."
Damn.
Clearly jealous. I was like, "Okay."
And where are they now?
I have no
They're
fucking.
the Foo
The
Fighters.
name of their band is Friends of Rock and Roll.
That's stupid.
That's literally the name of their band. And I'm not saying this for any other reason other than that's the level of competitiveness that some bands
In
feel.
the entertainment
when they
industry,
don't when they
music.
haven't gotten their break after 40 years of music.
That's
you know?
why I retired, man. That's why I retired. I was just,
So wait, what was the day that you actually retired and was like, I'm not doing this music stuff anymore? Because I
don't
never
even
got
remember.
a chance to be involved in your music. I really wanted to.
I don't even remember. I just decided.
Damn, that sucks.
One day you just
Let's take a
just like,
vote.
you know-
Everybody out there, vote for Joe. to go back.
we're
into
gonna
the
put an
music
Instagram
industry.
story post.
Yeah,
Should Joe go back into music and then you
Yeah.
guys can vote.
yeah. It'd be
Whether
great.
he'll do it or not is a different
How
story.
about this? If I get to the moment, and this is a true thing that we can record and have stated on the podcast.
We are recording.
Yeah. But if I get to the moment where I can book somebody at the Staples Center, would you do it?
What the fuck?
Of
Hell no!
course.
I'd be so out of practice.
I would tell you at least
Keenan,
24
you can
hours in
always count.
advance.
You can always count on me, even if it's 1 hour before.
Well, you'll be the
I'm
headliner at the
fucking
show.
down.
But I mean, like what would it take
I stay ready.
to get
I'd
you
be
back
down.
on stage?
I'd be down.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just yourself.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll bring MR back.
All right.
Come on.
Staples Center. You heard it. You heard it here first. I'm gonna do it. Or maybe the Forum. Forum is a little bit more. Nah, Staples Center.
Okay, let me ask you this: Do you guys ever get nervous before doing like public speaking or like any?
Kind of, but once I'm
Shows.
if it depends on what I have to say. If kind of like this, if I'm just going off the cuff and I can say whatever I want, comfortable as hell. If I have a preset of what I'm supposed to say, pissing in my pants, mad hardcore.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Like, oh god, I have to remember what I'm gonna say here.
and say it right and in the right dialect and format, and it's just like no improvisational and off the top of my dome, easy as cake
Mm.
or pie or
Which
because
is a
you
peculiar
can
mentality.
be yourself.
yeah, and I can say whatever I want, and I know that there's
You
no
can
fear.
Be yourself.
The fuck are you talking?
Be yourself, Keenan.
Okay, you're just gonna keep repeating that. Like,
Be
Be
yourself.
fuck? Oh, oh, that's not a phone.
yourself.
You're silly.
Mama.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna segue into something else that's completely off the subject. Cancer.
Oh, way to drop a you dropped a bomb on me.
Well, goddamn, Joe.
Okay,
My coworker's son has that currently right now.
Yeah,
It's like kind of hitting home there.
I mean, it hits home a lot.
Do you know somebody currently? Is this why you're bringing this up?
I know a couple people, but the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I was watching the show called Paddleton. It's not a show. I'm sorry, it's a movie on Netflix, and it's a new movie on Netflix. Ray Romano and Mark Duplass.
Okay.
ooh, I love Mark Duplass.
Yeah,
Shout
Mark
out to my boy
Duplass.
Adam. He put me on to Mark Duplass.
Yeah. Oh, Mark Duplass actually wrote this film.
He's a great talent.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it's a movie called Paddleton, and it's about two friends. They're neighbors, best friends, and one of them gets cancer, terminal. No
Yeah.
going back. It's
Like
gonna happen
The
no matter what.
50-50 movie.
Like I was gonna say like 50-50.
I didn't like 50-50 though.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really like. Well, I guess 50.
You just don't like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, huh? Say it.
No,
If you're
Say
listening
it.
to this,
No,
we're a
that's not
fan
true
of the
either.
Joseph
That's
Gordon-Levitt community. Be yourself.
be yourself.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, I guess it's like 50-50. Like, but in 50-50 he doesn't die.
That's true.
It's not, it's
Oh,
not
I didn't see
terminal.
that movie. Thanks for ruining it for me.
So now we know the guy dies.
I
You
Spoiler
we're gonna
alert.
watch it anyways.
wasn't gonna
Keenan.
watch it.
But okay, so the whole thing behind this movie, there's no surprise because it's in the summary.
Mhm.
This guy, one of the friends, is gonna die. He has terminal cancer.
Yeah.
So, I guess my question is, if you found out that your best friend that you spend so much time with, that you're practically in a relationship because
Mhm.
that's what it is,
Yeah.
if you or if they told you that they had terminal cancer,
Mhm.
uncurable, dying no matter what, I'd like you to be with me when the shit goes down.
Okay.
How would you
I
respond?
called-
What
I-
would you do? Like,
I called you when my dad had pancreatic cancer,
yeah, I do remember that.
and the moment I called you, I think 2 days later, the next day or something like that, he passed.
Yeah, he passed.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I don't know why I changed my mind and said, no, you don't have to come all the way out to Temecula.
Which I was.
We were ready. You're ready to do. You're ready to do it. I don't know why I changed my mind. I mean, I think I just need to let the vent it out or something like that. But yeah, if one of you had it, I would do it. I mean, but this is probably only because I've been through it with my own family, so it wouldn't be.
But they're through the process, like the whole thing. Like,
Yeah, I was same
like
thing.
from the moment I find out
Yep.
that I have terminal cancer and I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna die.
Same thing with my
So
yeah,
fuck it.
my father. When I found out a week later, I drove from San Francisco, went to Nevada, and then saw him in the hospital. I think that's the toughest part, is actually seeing you when you know you're gonna die. See, the thing is, when I didn't know how serious pancreatic cancer was, but when I saw my dad, I knew he was gonna die. That's the
Damn.
worst part. It's like I'm watching my father die right in front of me. There's nothing you can do about it.
That's a hard feeling.
That's the worst thing. The actual part of when you do pass over wasn't so.
I felt the same way. Once it happened, as far as I was concerned,
Yeah.
rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly. But the moment you actually see it and you see the pale skin, you see it skinny and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and no joke, like looking like they're about to be a corpse. That's the toughest part. And so going through it once already, I can do it again. If it was the first time, I probably it would be hard to handle, but I still would do it if it was any of you.
If you had to go through it for months, I'm not talking about
not
the final
personally?
stages
Oh,
of it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
Months?
like, yo, I'm where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Tomorrow I go to the hospital. They tell me, yo, you have terminal brain cancer.
I do it.
There's no going back.
You have like 6 months
you
to
have
live.
6 months to live.
Yeah, I do it. I mean, I wouldn't take 6 months off of work, but I would see you after work.
Mhm.
We'd hang out, and the idea is to enjoy as much as we can before we know. Yeah.
And then the question is, like, why do we have to wait until then to be that close to the people that we love? It's
Yeah.
ironic in Los
That is true.
Angeles. In Los Angeles, if you live in West LA and the person that you know lives in the Valley, let's say, for some people you might as well be in another fucking state.
That's fucking me, man.
No,
That's
I know.
fucking me.
And I'm looking directly at Joe for that one.
But you know what's crazy is like Keenan constantly drives all the way out from like what is it, Temecula?
Temecula. Not
All
Temecula, sorry, Tarzana.
Tarzana all the way to LA every day to be part. I mean, every Sunday to be part of this. And more often than not, we have all these events
There you
that
go.
happen
Give
in
him
between
more
that.
credit for shit, man. He doesn't need that.
Thank you, Philly. High five, Philly.
I do that, don't I?
You know what the damn thing is though? The only reason nobody goes to the Valley because ain't shit happening in the Valley, and that's why
Ain't
Keenan's
nothing
driving all the
popping.
way out here because everything's
Yo,
happening.
Hold up. I'm trying to do stuff. We got a show for Rachel out in the
show me
Valley.
what 9 p.m. in Tarzana looks like.
Oh, fuck you.
And you'll
Wait.
be happy to know that Keenan is actually working on building a scene in the Valley.
Valley. Yeah.
He's literally grassroots making it happen.
pretty
I
much.
know that.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, there's some
Trying
strolling
to
alleys
draw
and
me
shit.
out of my LA.
Keenan has that big dick energy in the Valley.
Swinging it left and right.
Woo. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh my god.
Why did I say that?
No, but it is true. I definitely am trying to build it up. There's things to do in the Valley. We'll definitely get back to cancer, but on a lighter note, there definitely is things to do in the Valley, like pretty much any other.
Before 9.
Before 9 o'clock. There's clubs and strip clubs and bars and stuff out in the
Strip
Valley.
clubs, you say, huh, Keenan?
There's bars with, yeah, there's things.
It's no secret that
I'm single. I can get away with it, right? Yes, I can get away with it until some lady wants to be a part of my life, and I quit it cold turkey.
Dude, I just could never. Like I tried maybe twice ever in my life. Once because it was someone else. No, twice. We're both for birthdays. Once fairly recently, about a year ago, for a buddy of mine, his birthday. We went there. I bought him a dance because I knew he wanted to be there.
Yeah,
And then once when I was 18, I got in. I just can't do it, dude. Like
it's shady. It depends on where you go, because places. Well,
people eat at strip clubs.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
It's very weird. You need to go to one where it's like the music is vibrant, lighting system is going cool, people are having a good time,
Yeah.
and that's kind of hard to come by. Really hard to come by. I even the places that I go to, it's like on a special day where you get like a crowd of people and they're all having fun. And they're dancing to the song too. They like turns into a club instead of an actual strip club, but that's rare.
I mean, at the risk of sounding super fucking crazy, right? Because what's the driver for that? It's loneliness, maybe.
Damn,
right?
I wouldn't say I might be. I don't know.
Aloneness, maybe.
I think you're looking at it all wrong. It's entertainment. It's entertainment. It's absolutely.
I would go with
it. Has
that,
nothing
for
to do with loneliness, because I'll tell you right now, I've gone to plenty of strip clubs, like, because, you know, I'll go out on jobs all the time, and that's what the guys want to do. They want to go have fun. Like, it's not necessarily loneliness, because, you know,
it's just fun.
Some of the guys that I know are with people, are in relationships, or have families or whatever, and
yeah,
I don't think it's loneliness. I honestly don't. I think it's purely entertainment, and it's like a
like the male bonding experience.
Not just a male bonding
like
experience,
dinner
no.
show.
But
dinner,
not dinner.
So, but it's like a burlesque lounge. Is
I can honestly tell you, I've never had food at a fucking strip club.
Right, but like going to see like a lingerie burlesque show where there's music and like, you know, like Moulin Rouge type shit like that.
That's entertainment.
Why does a strip club have to be different from that?
And a burlesque club will show. They won't show the nipples, but there are plenty of places called bikini bars that don't even show the tits either. It's mostly fully covered.
But what I'm saying is, why does it have to be that?
Because if we expect any talent, male or female, that's a stripper, to just show up and not like do some singing or something, and their talent is essentially just their body, like, I'm not impressed.
Depends on what they do.
What's your talent?
What's my talent? Aside from being able to articulate my thoughts clearly, sing. What do you mean?
Yeah,
singing. You're
using your body.
Right, yeah.
That's a physical talent
but I'm not objectifying my breasts or my ass or my penis.
But you have a nice breast. You have a nice set of breasts. Let me touch them real quick.
And I want to hear your point.
I think that'll change.
What I'm
when
saying
you
is,
start realizing that these people are individuals and some of them do like to do that shit.
It depends on what you see too, because to
Yeah.
add to Joe, they'll do
like the acrobatic
they'll
dancing
do a
is what
lot
you're
of
getting
acrobatic
at.
stuff.
Yeah.
That is
which
a skill.
Some of the stuff
That is a skill.
is actually
In heels and shit, I can't do that.
I normally don't tip, but when I see them do like some backflip crazy shit, I'm like, oh, you're trying to earn some money here. Here's a little
See,
something.
that's different. But I'm saying if they're just standing there, because the one time I went recently to go buy, like I want to say it was June of last year for my buddy's birthday, June 4th. Right then and there, I paid for his dance, and one of the girls that was on stage was essentially just going, "What's up? You guys don't want to come closer to see this?" She was doing nothing. She
I
was
hate
just doing that.
I hate when they ask you to come to the stage. I'm like, no.
And what for what talent? She wasn't rapping. She was doing, and she, like, just because the way she looks.
I'll agree with Philly on some of those cases because I did see some ladies who just sway back and forth and think they're so
yeah,
sexy.
you just have
and
bad,
like,
you have bad experience, but
Yeah.
it's not to say that all these women.
Yeah, but if they're out there
feel the
like
way you
doing
do, though.
pull,
Yeah, you
crazy twists and that's talent.
you have to go to the right
That's
one.
acrobatics.
I'll
Yeah.
take you there.
I
You've
agree with that,
Philly.
experienced the wrong thing, the wrongs.
Yeah, you had
yeah.
a bad experience.
Yeah,
You had
it's,
a bad
it's
experience.
just bad
So you're
experience.
saying if one can twerk real nice,
Dude,
and not even
you see
twerking,
some
like-
phenomenal stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now.
our guests are like, yeah, because
No, and I would say definitely more than the twerking is nice, but there's some things they do that are actually really impressive. You're like, oh damn, I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting
I
this at a
just-
strip club.
I don't see women. I can't see them as just demeaning themselves because they're there. Maybe not all of them are there because they want to be there, but I'm sure some of them are because they do.
I've met a lot.
And I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
they want to be there, and I'm
I'm
sure they
not
have just
saying
as
yes.
much fun as you or I will have
on
or-
stage. You're
You know, I'm
saying?
sure
Oh,
they,
yeah.
dude. Trust me, like I can't attest for any clubs here in LA, but like across the country, I've been to strip clubs across the country, and I'm telling you right now, holy shit! Like, man,
You heard
It's
it
a-
here
it's a
first.
show.
You
It's
got
a
Joe's
show.
still approval.
dude, you will have some fun. It's not, and it's not to say that I'm not necessarily for strip clubs, but I'm not against them either because I have had strip club experiences that are absolutely not perverted at all. Like
Mhm.
not one.
Right,
bit.
that's what I'm getting at.
And it's
Yeah.
what makes it really perverted is the customers. For me,
Yeah,
not so much
absolutely.
the lady with their, because you see ladies in bikinis or sometimes at nude at a beach.
Right.
It's usually a lot of the guys that are the very sleazy guys that makes you feel uncomfortable
Yeah,
being there.
yeah.
Some of the
Yeah.
population.
So
that
I can
attends,
tell you,
yeah.
like,
Mhm.
strip clubs are
Like, if you-
not as bad as
Yeah.
people may make them.
Yeah, I wasn't
seem.
speaking of the profession. I was just,
Yeah.
I was just a little confused
The
as to,
environment.
as to what types of things people appreciate for. Because the ones that I've been to, there was very little acrobatics. There was very little.
Mhm.
There was nothing other than them expecting to get $1 for just being naked. And in all fairness, that's what the guys are going there for, anyways. So I get it.
Yeah.
But like, I just didn't see the hype.
If you go, me and Joe will take you, and then
I'm
you'll have
straight.
a different experience. Yeah, it'll be more fun.
I could literally. It's the same with. Not exactly the same, but I feel about it similar to the way I feel about many substances that people use to sort of help themselves get through the day. I could go without it, and I'd be just fine for the rest of my
Yeah.
life.
And
Yeah.
girls go
And-
to strip clubs. I've seen guys take their wives and girlfriends, and the wives and girlfriends will be getting into it more than the guys.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
I
And
can
I'm
agree
like,
with that.
who did you marry? And what's, can I get her
And
number?
where's her
Where's her
sister? Or her friend. Would they like to
Yeah.
go together
Oh god.
and join
Yeah.
us? Maybe have some drinks and coitus.
Only,
And
yeah.
I'm glad that we can talk about things like this, have different opinions, and be
Yeah.
okay with it.
Yeah, it's, yeah. And yeah.
'Cause that's how we should be about politics.
Yeah.
We should be able to discuss something and say, okay, we have different opinions, and instead of trying to prove that we're right, try to prove ourselves wrong.
That's so hard for, I think a lot of people.
Not enough
that's
people
so
spend their
difficult.
times
No.
trying to find ways to prove themselves wrong.
No.
Why would I want to prove myself wrong though?
Because then
Why
you
would
have,
one of them right here?
no, because
Trump
you have
supporter.
you have an expanded view of your own situation if you can find ways to prove yourself wrong.
It's the same thing about knowing yourself and who you are in the core. How do you know unless you have the other people around you giving you feedback?
You don't want to be
Yeah,
the king
I'd
of your
let-
castle. You
I'd
want to
let-
be the king of the castle.
No, but I'd let other people prove me wrong. Like, why do I have to have that burden?
Well, how
Right,
would you
because-
accept
right,
it?
Why do
How
I
would
have
you-
to have
right,
that burden
right,
of proving
any-
myself wrong?
Right, but any any intellectual would take it upon themselves to understand the holes in their arguments, and not just the holes of their enemies or opponents' arguments, but the holes of their arguments.
You
I
have-
would allow you to.
The
put me
only
on.
reason you feel
you
so
would?
confident about your position on religion is because of how much you understand on their side.
But if you didn't know
That's the only
anything
reason you
about
have
it-
the confidence on it, because you spent so many years in your young life actually appreciating what that
Yeah.
is.
I can't say I appreciate it.
Well, see, I think that's what Philly's talking about. How there has to be some level of understanding and appreciation
Of the other
where,
side.
where they're going for, and for yourself, so you can have that back and forth. And if you can't accept, if you can't try and find the own holes in your own philosophy, then you're still speaking from a one-sided perspective.
My side.
That's right. You tell him,
Oh,
Joe.
fucker.
You tell him. Oh, Doyle rules.
Doyle rules.
Oh God.
And like Adam Sandler said, "Oh, Doyle, I have a feeling one day your whole family's gonna go down." And a banana peel was the culprit.
Oh God. And I don't want to stray away because you were talking about a heavy topic of cancer and people with
Right.
cancer. So
Right.
to make my answer straight, you guys.
We don't have.
answer-
I mean, we don't have to go back to it. I was
sure?
I was just
'Cause
curious to know like
No,
how
it's
you
a-
guys would respond.
because
to
you got
that.
mine. You didn't get
we
Philly's.
have people in our own family who are suffering from lupus, and
Yeah.
both of their kidneys have failed, and they're literally fighting for their lives every day psychologically while trying to support their family and learn new skills because they wanted to be plumbers, and now they have to learn to do coding because their hands don't work the same way. They have arthritis. Like, they're suffering from cancer. I've been there. I've spent a week in the hospital, only a week, while they've spent the last 10 years of their lives trying to fight this disease. So I get it. It's heavy.
How do you get lupus?
I have no
Nobody
idea.
knows, but it's a
What?
cancer.
Oh,
Selena Gomez is another celebrity that has also been suffering with it. There's so many.
she
We
has
have-
lupus.
Yeah,
What?
she's been fighting it for years.
Damn. And doesn't I thought Pete Davidson has something like that?
He just looks like it.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
kidding. I'm kidding.
We are a friend
You're
of the
not,
Pete Davidson
though.
I don't
community.
know his life. dude.
Man, fuck Pete Davidson.
Damn. Okay.
I don't know his life. I don't know his life, but
Well,
I'm sure.
hopefully you're listening,
I'm
Pete
sure he
Davidson.
could appreciate the joke.
I don't like his weasel looking ass.
He's the kind of dude that would just talk shit back. So
yeah,
there it
yeah,
is.
you would. Yeah.
Um,
So anyway, I guess to answer Joe's question, you would be with him from beginning to end.
I would do my very best.
I think we would. Now you're not saying this as like something that's letting us
Guys,
know about.
You're not trying to
something.
tell us anything, Joe, are you?
I have something to tell you.
Uh-oh. Here it is.
I'm gonna say it here on the podcast.
I'll take care of Sonya for you.
Oh, wait, what do you mean? Hey, hey, dog. Hey.
I think in about 15 years, I'm probably gonna have brain cancer.
Oh, God.
Oh, my
Calling
God.
it.
Oh,
Playing too many
God.
video games.
No.
No, from other things.
Oh, God dang. God, oh, God.
No, man. I'm fucking with you.
No, I'm fucking with you guys. I'm
again,
totally
like I said-
healthy. I just got a doctor checkup the other day. I told you
Yeah,
I was healthy
I'm
some
good,
more.
I'm good, man.
Oh,
Liver's
man.
killing
The
it a little
doctor
bit,
said
you
it ain't
know?
contagious.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just wondering because I watched that movie Paddleton that I was telling you.
Oh,
about.
because you're on the page.
You guys should
Yeah.
watch it. Honestly, it's a great movie. Here,
I'm not into that stuff anymore. That's
Corn
why.
nuts.
I already ate all the corn nuts.
Joe
like-
ate all the corn nuts,
Yeah,
and now he wants to
now you
offer us
offer-
some. That's a strict example of Joe's personality.
Man.
No. I'm serious. Have you ever had him serve you some food? He's generous. He's generous. But then look at his plate when it comes out versus yours.
Yeah.
He just took a little.
I
But
just sauced my plates up. And be like,
But-
all right, I gave them their feast.
what I can appreciate about that is
Yeah.
the level of self-love that Joe does have for himself that I think is healthy for everyone to have.
Hmm.
There should be some degree of self-love. There's nothing to be proud of in self-deprecation, even in comedy.
I do that all the time, though.
Self
You know how many jokes, even on this podcast, that I've set up myself that you guys just attack on?
I know.
You've done that on
Constantly?
purpose? You did that on purpose? You fucking asshole.
And
No,
we thought
that-
your
that-
dick
love
really,
you.
your sperm really
no,
looked like flan.
my dick was really, it literally freaked me out. I kid you not. I seriously was questioning.
You were like, I got to get this
It
checked
was-
out. You go to
it
the
was
doctor.
bad.
Doc, is this bad? It's a good-looking dick. I don't know what else to say.
That's a good looking dick.
Just,
But I wanted to
remember if you
throat
shake it
checkup.
twice, you want a
Nice.
throat checkup?
Instead, my dick is out.
nasty.
Jeez. Jeez, Louise.
Self-deprecating. See what I mean? I do it all the time.
Right. What I mean is like low self-esteem movements
Oh.
where everyone defeats themselves first before they let the world defeat themselves. Before the world defeats them, most people defeat themselves.
Is that like you are your own worst critic kind of thing?
Yeah. Look, I think we talked about this in the last soapbox, right? I had no speech prepared and I went and did it anyways.
Yeah.
I don't have a speech prepared today. I'm going to go and do it anyways.
Yeah.
And while it's easy to speak because it's just talking, our actions should match that the same way. If we're not ready, so fucking what?
Yeah.
Get ready.
Yeah.
Go. Do something.
Stay ready.
Look, if you want to have self-esteem, you have to do esteemable acts. The easiest way to feel good about yourself, if you have $3 in your pocket, go and buy a fucking pack of water from 7-Eleven and hand it out to some homeless people. Your self-esteem will change. We all need self-esteem.
So how do you get to that
I give
level?
homeless people shit.
Joe has way too
Actually, that's not true.
how do you?
That's not true. You've helped homeless people out.
Yeah.
I have.
He helped
No,
me.
I have.
He gave me some money.
We've helped homeless people out. We once let a kid live with us for a long time.
How do you get to that level pre getting self-esteem to that water bottle stuff? So if you're trying to acquire the self-esteem and you're mentioning about if you have $3 in your pocket, go buy some water and hand it out to homeless people, then how do you get that mentality of doing that action if you had zero self-esteem to begin with and you want to acquire something?
Where I'm coming from, and I'm trying to find a way to phrase this in a question as opposed to a statement, because the question will help you guys provoke your own thinking as opposed to me just making a statement. It's something I'm working on. I'm looking for ways to say what I want to say in question as opposed to the Socratic method, if you will. But for lack of better ability at this time, what I'm trying to say is an object in motion stays in motion. So if you don't know what you want to do something.
Which law is that? Huh?
I have no fucking idea.
Newton's law? Come on.
Newton's
You can
law
do
of
it.
Relativity.
What I am saying is this.
Of gravity.
I looked at Joe like, what the fuck?
That's Einstein.
Newton's law of relativity.
Einstein's law of relativity.
That's going to be the name of this episode. Newton's law of
That's good.
relativity.
God.
Newton's law of
Gatorades
relativity.
and Mercury.
Gatorades in retrospect.
Mercury is in Gatorade.
What the fuck? Oh my God. Go to college, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't go to college. Learn a trade, motherfuckers.
Dude. That's like that one. There was a video
I'm just
out on
teasing,
YouTube
Joe.
where somebody was like,
Okay.
where the doctor was like, how many of you guys in this audience know your blood type? And someone put their hands up and he was like, yes, you. Red. Come on,
Even
man.
though it's technically blue.
Right.
And then it gets red when it hits
Right,
oxygen. But
right.
anyway. So
Thanks
Well,
for clarifying
technically
that.
speaking, Newton's law of relativity.
If I'm mistaken, please correct me, but I believe that's Newton's second law. Second law of motion.
Right. The first one is
Objects
for
in
every
motion stay in motion.
The
For
other
reaction
is
is reaction.
reaction.
Yeah.
right. So
but anyway.
what I'm saying is take action.
So my question to you and to
Because
the group
even okay, go ahead.
is how does someone get to the mentality of wanting to take action, even as simple as it is?
There's a book I was reading called, well, I've read it twice already, but
Is
I
it
want
over here on
no,
this book?
it's not
Oh,
on there.
okay.
It's called The 5 Elements of Effective Thinking. And one of the most important lessons there is this. Failure is not an option in terms of being optional. Failure is a prerequisite to success. Before you can land on the moon, you got to hit the moon. What I mean by take action and then take corrective action. That's what a missile does. It launches out and then it corrects its course. But if we never fucking leave the ground, if we never launch, you can't course correct.
What does it take to leave that launch?
Having no fear of failure. In fact, being ready for failure on purpose so that you can correct. That's what it's about, man. And people constantly are afraid of failing, so they fail anyways.
Right. So how do
Where's the logic in that?
Yeah, where do you get rid of that failure?
I'm never scared.
What
You just have to have the courage to fail and feel good about it. Have the humility to know the fact that you don't know every shortcut on a computer keyboard. Have the humility to know that you don't know shit, and then have the humility to go learn that shit.
So maybe that's the answer to the question is to
Have
create.
humility.
Oh, I was gonna say like create small amounts of failure to build up
Yes.
that confidence. That
100%. That's
Yeah.
exactly what the 5 elements of effective thinking is at its core. It's one of the elements. It's the fire element. That's what it is.
So, just
Go on.
okay. With that
Devil's
being
advocate.
said,
Devil's advocate.
with that being said,
Joe's perfect.
I hope you guys come to the realization that every single time I beat you
Oh yeah.
in one of these fighting games, I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for you guys so you can be successful.
This sounds like Keenan taking credit. I hate this.
So think of
Oh, now you know how it feels.
Yeah,
Huh?
I do.
so think of the number of times Joe has experienced savage beatings from the computer itself.
Dude, man,
Joe didn't even
many
lose to a
time.
person. He lost to a video game. Think of the feeling of
Yeah.
that.
I mean, and
Yeah.
I'll do it again
And he
and
course
again
corrected.
and again.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And somehow, and you know,
That's what I tell Gavin all the time. They're like, "Yo, sometimes you're gonna lose,
He,
kid."
he beats his
You're not gonna
son
get better.
savagely, and I mean in video games, not physically.
Oh yeah, definitely not physically.
But
right.
yeah,
and there's a lesson to that, and it's funny because we can apply those lessons there, but then we bring it over to our personal lives, and suddenly we're afraid.
What
There's
are you
no
afraid of?
difference. I'm afraid of a lot of things, but I'm also not so afraid that I won't at the very least take a fucking chance, because otherwise you fail anyways. You know, it's there's two things, right? You miss every shot you don't take, and then the other one that Michael Jordan said was, "I never lost the game. I just ran out of time on the clock."
Yeah, he did say that.
You know, so if you're gonna die, look, I would really rather die trying
Yeah.
than to sit
Get
there,
rich or die trying.
than to sit there and just be like, "Oh, you know what? I never." There's nothing uglier in the eyes of a human being than regret.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at someone whose face is just filled with nothing but regret, and they're like 80 years old and they've got nothing but that? Can you imagine how fucking scary that is?
Yeah.
As they say in Korean, "Tu pyong chuseo." 2 bottles, please.
Please.
Metchu tu pyong chuseo.
I know this
That-
doesn't.
what-
This
you-
isn't the same,
That's
but
really impressive.
there's a great way to segue into a movie that Keenan hasn't watched.
Oh God.
Dun, dun,
So-
Not because
dun.
it's Korean, because it is and it's Japanese. But Philly and I went and watched Alita,
That shit was bad.
Battle Angel.
Yeah.
Even
Even though it wasn't true to the anime. And
No,
like
even the girl's
100%,
name was different. All kinds
yeah,
of shit. But
it was still a good film.
It was
to just watch.
it was a good adaptation.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Great adaptation.
Okay. I heard they're doing a Cowboy Bebop one. I
Dude,
hope they
they
do.
are,
I hope
they
they
are.
do it really good.
I hope they do, but it's gonna be tough.
I know.
it's basically Avatar meets the new Star Wars with the actress Daisy. What's her name?
Daisy Ridley.
Daisy Ridley. It's
yeah.
Daisy Ridley as the Jedi
Okay.
and the Avatar in one movie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The reason, I mean, it was a really good movie. I loved it. It had a poor premiere. Like it's
Which is
it's
sad.
really bad in the U.S. box office.
Wow.
U.S. and that leads me to open a conversation about why these Japanese adaptations always fail in the U.S. Take Dragon Ball, for example.
That's right. Oh yeah, the animated movie.
No, the live action.
Oh well,
Yeah.
that
was done
movie was
poorly,
fucking
right?
whack.
Same thing with Speed Racer. That was
man.
not like a.
Although Emil
What else?
Hirsch is a badass actor.
Still, it did, first I think Alita Battle Angel is like maybe the first good one that's not getting a lot of high rep. But there's a lot of bad ones that had triple
Didn't
A
Akira also
blockbuster.
fail as an anime in the American box office?
it will. I think it will.
I think
And no, but it doesn't. I don't say this because I thought Speed Racer was good. I can't say the same for Dragon Ball, but I did. I enjoyed Speed Racer. I thought it was beautiful.
Well, it looked good.
I
Yeah.
thought it was great. No, but I thought it was a good movie overall. But for me, the reason I feel that these movies have failed
Mhm.
and why future movies will fail is because an American audience doesn't really fully understand what Japanese popular culture is about.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%.
So,
no
the
argument.
themes and
No
values
argument
are
there.
different. Yeah, the
Yeah.
themes
Yeah.
and values are different.
Huge no argument there.
Any anime
Like-
talks about teamwork,
Mm-hmm.
the value of friendship, not just family, but friendship.
And just some of the ideas are just like too out there for the standard, the regular audience, American audience to understand.
The people who watch Michael Bay movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. And when you mention anime to them, they don't think of the anime we watch.
And
they think of the
there's still a
dirty
taboo.
anime.
There's still a huge taboo
Yeah.
about watching anime in America, which is crazy because the audience has gotten so big.
Mhm.
Like, if you tell somebody that this is an adaptation of a manga or anime, they're gonna be like, what's that?
You mean
Yeah.
that
No,
thing?
you
that,
mean
that
that thing?
yeah, little
Little
porn
comic books
animes?
for kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, which is crazy because the Marvel universe is flourishing.
Yeah.
Flourishing.
You just got to do it right.
Yeah, but that's Captain
But
America.
that's America.
Yeah,
You know, it's American.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me.
The
It's
level
crazy.
of action. In fact, the amount of Bruce Lee footage that they use to create the fighting style
Mhm.
of the main character in Alita,
Mhm.
the amount of things that they put into this movie, and it's Robert Rodriguez,
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez. Yeah.
right?
I'm glad that
James
he's getting-
Cameron.
Yeah. Because he was doing like, not B movies, but he was doing
He was
things
doing
like
his own
Spy
shit. He
Kids
was
and
doing
his own
Desperado and
shit.
all that stuff. So,
But
I'm
it all
glad.
led up to this.
yeah, I'm glad he's doing some
Dude,
AAA high end
I'm not
shit.
gonna lie
There
to
is-
you. I almost cried in some of the scenes of the movie because it was just gripping. The stories,
Yeah,
the
dude.
themes, the way they
Like,
did it.
It
oh.
just, I'm flabbergasted at how poor of a performance it was
In the box
In the
office.
box office.
Oh.
when the movie
Like,
is
I'm
so well
just
done.
Like,
so well
what
done.
the fuck? Because if Avatar
Avatar
blew
did
shit
poor
up-
too, though, didn't it?
No, hell no.
It was the first
like
movie to make
the-
$1 billion.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
like it holds the record
Mhm.
to this day for like one of the top grossing movies of all time.
this movie should have done the same because it's actually
Exactly.
better than
It's
Avatar,
better
in my
than
opinion.
Avatar.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
I bet
better
you when
than
Avatar 2 comes out, which it is,
it'll
it's gonna-
probably,
it'll probably do well.
blow up.
They're gonna be
Yeah.
the first to make $2 billion.
But
Probably.
because this is an adaptation from
Mhm.
a Japanese comic book
Yep.
slash
with a lead actress that people haven't really heard of these days.
Mm.
That's
But they had
my
a great
thing.
cast,
Okay,
too.
because I'm hypocritical.
They had a
oh,
super
yeah,
great
Christoph
cast, man.
Waltz.
Yeah,
was in it.
Christoph
Well,
Waltz,
yeah.
Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah.
You don't see him. I don't want to spoil it
That's
because
fine.
you want to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Oh
say it.
yeah, that shit was
But the
crazy.
big reveal at the end, you're like, holy shit! And I
You
really
didn't even
hope.
see it in the opening
I
credits.
really
Was
hope
it
it
The
gets
Rock?
No,
It has to get a part 2.
I really hope it does get a sequel because
Okay.
the just
We're basically using our platform right now
Wait,
to
did
get this
they-
movie.
Did
Did
the
they
reveal-
reference like another anime?
no.
Oh, okay,
the
good.
reveal at
Just
the
an
end was
actor.
just like
It's the
holy
actor that
shit.
ended up
So
signing
I
on.
won't look at IMDb because that's a cheat.
Yeah.
I'll easily find
In
out.
fact, we should all go fuck.
No, yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
Well, no, I also wanted to take Rachel to go see the movie, but we can't all do it right now because
No,
No.
we should all go do something like that together.
Well, I'm
we
surprised
should
we,
all fucking
haven't.
go do something.
Like I want to fully promote people who listen to this podcast and us as friends that we're talking about gaining new friends and doing things out in the valley
No
and
new
stuff like that.
friends.
And it just sucks that we're not a lot of people are doing a bunch of things as a big group within our group
Well, friendship.
because we have a nice connected group and we
Yes.
have things that we're
Yes.
doing. But a lot of us won't show up or be a part or support.
we
or,
only do
We were
show up
just
for
talk-
birthdays and holidays,
Dude,
I mean, come on.
if that.
Ray was just talking about this with me the other day when we were at that event,
Mhm.
and it's that somehow you have to be doubly impressive to your friends and family before they support your shit.
Yeah,
Doesn't that suck?
that sucks. So that
you'll,
is so
you'll
weird.
promote a complete stranger.
Yeah. Yes.
You'll promote
And-
a
and to-
complete stranger, like we're doing right now. We're promoting somebody's movie heavily,
Yeah.
and then like if one of your friends has a show, you'd be like, do I have to pay? Like
I know exactly that, and I won't name names, but I had a friend who had a show. I said they were really, really good. You should come out and see them. They're like, "How much does the tickets cost?"
That's
I was
ridiculous. If you're a fucking adult, you shouldn't even
Yeah.
question how much tickets are.
like, "Yeah," and then they won't.
That gets me all the time.
It's so
like-
bad because they won't go to the show until the tickets go up to like $30-$40. I was like, so you're gonna wait until they're $100 at the Staples Center instead of watching them for like $5-$10 right now
Yeah.
at this club down the street. It's like,
A-
what?
And it comes back to social currency. Number one, most of your friends and family, they're used to seeing you, right? So let's take the example of when I freestyle, right? For the most part, you guys are like,
we
oh,
give you-
Philip,
Here
shut
we
the fuck
go.
up.
It's good though,
Right?
It's good.
But then you'll bring somebody who's never heard me and they're like, what the fuck? And I'm not saying that to my heart. What I'm saying is that just goes to show you that no matter how good you do what you do,
Mm-hmm.
I bet you Michael Jackson was whatever to his family.
Probably the Beatles, all that
They're
stuff.
probably like, oh, Michael, would you please sit down and eat your fucking dinner?
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what I mean? Oh, baby, give me one more chance. This is good chick. You know?
But my mom loves the podcast and loves you guys and supports. So thank you, Mom.
Joe, down boy.
I joke so much about you two. It's hilarious. But
Tell your mom I said what's up.
Oh, hey.
And I hope that everything is going well with her. I mean, geez, what do you take me for?
Fucking savage.
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
That is Keenan's
This has
mother,
been an
Joe.
ongoing thing.
But I the connection is so funny that I have with my mom and with you. The fact that I would tease my mom about hooking up with Joe in front of my mom, and she would laugh and blush. But sometimes she would add to it, like, "Oh, he's not ready." Like what?
Keenan's like, hey.
Yeah, she'll catch me off guard.
He was like,
Yeah.
this conversation has to change right now.
Ah, gee,
Like
mama.
I started.
Like butter starts cracking like
Like
butter.
butters. Man.
But yeah, love you, Mom. You're funny. You're good.
No, seriously. Like, for
Yeah.
example, look, sometimes I feel torn because, for example, this Thursday, a friend of mine, Jay Lacan, has a show.
Yes, the 28th at where is it at?
It's at the Celebrity Center.
Celebrity Center
He's
in
not-
Hollywood.
He's not affiliated with Scientology in any way other than the fact that they provided a venue.
Oh, we didn't have to say it was something. We could just have them be surprised.
What I'm saying though is it's a friend of mine, and granted, my bandwidth, if I will, my time is a little strapped in general because I take on a shitload of projects and I'm a freelancer, etc. But even at that, it's like I haven't even shared the post, and I've seen it 3 times. It's becoming more of a reality to me that I'm a hypocrite in the own sense that I also don't support my own friends.
No, but you said you went there 3 times, and I went there once. And
But I never to the event.
Oh,
No, I've been to the Celebrity Center
oh,
for the investigation and research I was doing for Scientology.
Okay, yeah, then
for
you're a
my
bad
own
friend.
personal growth.
no, I mean, and he did.
And he even
did
when he
mention
doesn't have a starring role in the collabo
Mhm.
events or whatever, he shows up.
Yes, and he does travel all the way from Long Beach, and he did mention on a side thing. He was like, "I really appreciate you, Keenan, for coming out and seeing the show in Hollywood, because you don't have to." And I travel long distances just for my friends' stuff to go see them. But yeah, it does.
I'm trying.
It does.
I'm trying to be better.
Well, the thing is, yeah,
we all have to try.
because he comes from a long. Because a lot of excuses people say is, "Oh, that's too far," or "I don't know if I can make it in time," something like that. But even the artists themselves is traveling a huge distance for their show.
What do you think it is that keeps us from supporting the people that clearly support us?
Why'd you point at me?
For you to answer first.
Like,
I'm not
Joe?
No.
What is it?
Yeah, Joe.
I don't want
Why?
to.
No, this isn't about blame.
No,
You
I
know,
don't.
this is-
I wanted to give him an opportunity
Motherfucker.
because I don't.
Oh,
want
you
to talk,
wanted
I don't
me-
want to talk over you or talk too much or I don't know. I have something to say, but
it's like when our friends or family tell us they have a dream and they just start practicing now. Let's say they're a little on the older side and they're like, "Oh, I want to be this." Are you gonna be the person that's like, "Oh yeah, get good luck"? No, right?
No, I'm not.
No.
That
So we're
guy.
not savage like that.
But I mean,
no. It's
What are options?
it's rare. Well, look, I'll give myself some credit, and I'll give you an opportunity to say something if you don't have something to say. But I remember when I bought out 2 rows of seats for
Your ex's
my
show, right?
my girlfriend at the time show. That all of my friends and family showed up, and her family didn't show up. Her friends from
and you paid for the tickets.
I paid for
It was a
tickets
free
myself.
show
knowing
and a good show.
that if I just asked people, they wouldn't go. I had to say, no, I bought a ticket for you to come to the show and go watch it.
I didn't go.
I know, because I knew you weren't going to go. Some people I knew, like even my brother, I was like, I knew they're not going to show. But people that might have that opportunity availability, I definitely try and latch out for those links. And those were still hopeful. I still didn't know, it takes a lot. Like I shouldn't have to have bought all those seats and say, put pressure on people and say, well, this is for me, put that little guilt trip on stuff like that.
I don't think that was your burden to do, though.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. But I felt like I had to go above and beyond the extra mile.
But some
Just to
people
keep-
would be like remiss by that. Like, that's your girl. Like, shouldn't she have people go on herself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why she has friends and family and stuff like that. And
So here's the irony. Not everybody can look, for example, if
You're
I
a
was
good man, by the
if I
way.
was to put
You're a
on a
very
show
good
by
man.
myself, much like my podcast before we had this one, the chances of people actually engaging with it, slim. Now the question is why, right? Like if I were to put on a show by myself, I don't think it would go as well as the ones that I'm working on collaboratively.
you do have a show by yourself.
What do you mean?
The Blueprint.
No, yeah, no. But what I'm saying is just take that as an example, or take just a music show.
Oh.
Anything that I've done by myself hasn't really been as successful as the work that I do with others. Now, it's my responsibility to recognize that and realize that maybe my collaborative efforts are stronger than my solo efforts. Some people, their solo efforts tend to be stronger than their collaborative efforts. At the end of the day, though, self-awareness is key. Now, I don't know if it's easy for me to get a lot of people to come to my stuff. Like if I have something and I'm like, come to my show. There's been a few times I was on plays or whatever. I send a few invites and only 1 or 2 people showed. I'm not that guy. I don't have the draw for that unless it's my birthday. And then I'm a lucky bastard.
People feel obligated. Oh, it's his birthday. I have to.
I'm lucky enough to be able to say
obligated for
that I'm loved in that sense.
It's just a reason.
So it must be, it's not that people don't support me. Maybe it's that my talent just isn't there yet. And some people don't support talent that isn't developed yet. It's one way of thinking. It's not the only way.
Okay.
That's just my suspicion.
I have a difference of, I agree to disagree because I used to promote bands. I used to try and get people to go to shows and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I don't know what is it. I can't fully define it yet. I'm I quit doing a lot of that stuff because I was very frustrated and trying to get people to go to something that was clearly awesome and good that are from their direct inner circle. And the cheesiest excuses just really pulled me off. Like, I know you're not doing shit and you're coming up with some of the most lamest stuff to not just say you don't want to go.
People want social currency. It's no different than what we're doing and social media. If people can't show it to someone else and show off that they're the ones that are introducing this to them, they don't care. It's always what's in it for me with a majority of people. There are rare exceptions. Like any rule, there's an exception. For the most part, from what I've gathered, people need to know that it's going to be the place to be, the thing to do. Otherwise, they've got better things to do, like being at the place to be or the thing to do or not doing a goddamn thing at all.
Goddamn right. No, I think that's one of the I think that's maybe one of the changes I've made in recent years, that as far as like the people that I don't feel really want to give me their time, or I have to kind of struggle with, the same way I told you guys about guests on this show. Like, let's not fucking chase them, because I'm tired of having to chase somebody to hang out with me or do something with me because I want them to do it. Like, I'm like, why? If you want to hang out with me, then hang out with me. Like, and don't say, oh, well, I can't because of this, or no, I can't because of that, yada, yada, yada. Like, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary energy being spent, pretty much.
You have to, and for me, that's my experience. You have to spend a ton of energy. That's why I know so many people and connect with them on a basis where I can get them to come to these shows and these events to hang out, where it's like,
it's that reciprocation.
It's almost a necessity. And I can't explain why people are the way that is. They just feel
people will only fuck with you if you fuck with them,
for the most part. And it's very frustrating when they want people to come to their stuff,
because it's reciprocal, right? And most people feel an obligation because they always come to my shit.
Well, it's very hard to the basic core level of how do you convince someone to do something that they kind of want to do. Like, how do we get what makes something cool per person?
Right.
And to the point where they're like, yeah, I want to go to that. There's tons of art shows and galleries and concerts and events and live shows and stuff like that. But a lot of people just like, that's not interesting to me.
Right. You're saying, people who love live music, and then you tell them I've got a live music event, and they're like, oh, I don't know if I can go.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess.
And you're like, what do you mean? I know you're going to love this. That's why I'm inviting you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Most people just get in their own fucking way, man.
If you get an invite from me, it's because it's legit.
And as time has gone on, a lot of people are becoming sort of, what's the word? jaded and disconnected. Just think about the fact that when we were kids, we used to be able to go play outside and there was no problems. Now, with technology improving and supposedly making our lives better, nobody wants to let their kids outside.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking neighbor, our app just told us they're pervs, or with more, the whole world has changed. People want to spend less. We should consider ourselves very lucky that each of us is willing to invest time into hanging out with each other. It does make our lives better. And we know that. Think of what we're asking of people. Money you can get back. I don't think people are worried about paying $10 as much as, even if they think that's what they're worried about.
Mm-hmm.
It's time.
Yeah.
We can't get that shit back. What we're doing right now, even if this is just for the podcast or whatever your reasons are, we don't get to press rewind on this moment right now. And yet somehow we're totally okay with that.
I'm super good with it.
We're burning we're burning the candle on both ends and going, fuck it. Because we're basically saying, I want to die with ends. You. I want, I feel, let's,
our tips have touched in a trifecta of pleasure.
Dude, don't let me forget about our video where we're going up on the legs and it sees the testes once it pans out. That just reminded me of that. I cannot forget
drop that in here. Now people know to expect the video with so much testicles.
That was private. Oh, fuck.
It's fine because now people know to expect the video.
Nobody listens. Nobody
to this. Yeah, we only have like 5 listeners.
Most people they thought they drop off like 3 hours, like 30 minutes in. They're like, okay, that was a good episode.
Great episode.
Yeah.
And we save our Dropbox talk for the end, so nobody ever hears.
No, people listen to it.
Well, because the clips you put on Instagram.
No, people definitely listen to our soapbox talks.
Yeah,
sure. I've gotten many comments about it,
and I've been told by someone I know, won't name names, but they definitely don't listen, and they want me. They might listen to this, but I didn't give out your name.
Who cares?
But they wanted me to give them.
I don't know who it is, but fuck you.
They want me. They'll give me the clips. They want the clips for me to. They want me to find the clips that I think is good, and tell them what time, and they'll go and listen to just those clips.
Follow us on Instagram, and then just watch whatever comes out. We don't really care if you do or don't.
And most of it, I'm doing is the clip is mostly cut of me saying some shit. So,
but even then, fuck them. They're not getting the full experience.
They basically said, "Well, I don't think you're that funny. So
give me the bullet points.
So if you think you found something
TLDR,
funny, send it to me.
TLDR.
Yep.
So fuck you.
Yep.
It comes right back to what we were just talking about. Yep. People won't fuck with you until they see other people are fucking with you.
Soon, like, I bet you as soon as
it's cool to come to your shows.
Yeah.
I want to be there now.
Yeah.
I hope I don't get jaded by that. Like when we get like super huge, and then all of a sudden people that are close to me are like, hey, let's put me on the cast. Let's hang out. I listen to your stuff all the time. It's like, what the?
It's like Charles Bukowski. No, you
didn't.
Dude, Charles Bukowski wanted to be a writer for years. He's from LA. He went to LACC. Mm-hmm. He turned into a drunk because he was depressed that his writing was going nowhere. And his writing was amazing. But it wasn't until he was like 80 years old that he was discovered finally. Mm-hmm. He got his big shot. And then he's out there reading from his books and he stops and he goes, where were you guys when I needed you?
Yeah.
I don't need you anymore.
Just throw the book out and piss on them.
They said it really means nothing to me being up here now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And that's when he dropped the line, you know, it's success is a lot like money and sex. It seems more important when you don't have it.
True. But Joe gets it all the time. So he's like,
man. Hey, I've learned to live my life the way I want to live it, and
I'm so jealous of that.
Adhere to society's standards on what they expect me to do. I will definitely do that, and the rest of the time.
So you're saying you'll be a gentleman, but you'll also be a scholar.
I'm gonna adhere to society and do what society needs me to do so that I could be successful, and then the rest of the time I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want.
You're saying I'll do that, but I'm also gonna do this.
Yeah. I'm gonna do what you need me to do, but after 5 o'clock,
it's all Joe.
Don't you dare fucking talk to me
about what I need to do.
Exactly.
I don't want your life. I don't want your life.
We can't get sued for that, right?
No, of course not.
Okay, that's like his saying or that movie saying.
Fuck James Vanderbeek. But if you want to come to the show, I'm down, fool.
was it, Jade?
Slide
Hey,
through.
no chasing, Joe.
Jade Silent
I'm not
Bob?
chasing. I just
Okay.
extended an invitation. I'm not gonna hit him up on Instagram or anything. And be like, yo,
Dude, wouldn't that be crazy?
Come by.
It's like, I want to come. Let's show Joe.
Dude,
I
you know
can't
who
wait
does a
for shit like that to
podcast?
happen.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
oh,
Him and his
He
buddy
does?
do a podcast. Yeah, and then we were in Westwood that one time when we went to that gig and we saw Freddie Prinze Jr.
yeah.
He's got like full on gray hair now and
Oh,
shit.
wow.
Oh man.
Damn.
He's turned into a silver fox.
Oh man.
I'm gonna be silver
We're old
fox.
You know who
balls.
when I took Gavin to the premiere of Spider-Man,
Mhm.
we saw
One of the actors, right?
no Chris Miller and Phil Lord, the directors.
Oh, that's right. And yeah,
It was sick.
when
'Cause
wasn't your son like, who are these people?
Yeah, he had absolutely no idea. I was like,
Mm.
these are the two men that created what you
Mm.
just watched. So I kind of geeked out a little bit because they were right behind us, and then we were gonna do like this augmented reality thing, and they were right behind us, and then one of them taps me on the shoulder. He's like, "Hey, it's just such and such." He didn't tell me who it was, but I already knew. I know what they look like.
Yeah.
So I forgot what he asked me.
If they could cut in line, wasn't that?
No, it was. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
If they could cut in line. No, because I guess they were gonna do something. I was like, "Fuck yeah,
Of
dude!
course, it's
Hey
your
man,
shit.
thank you for everything you've done. Cut twice."
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
dope. It was dope.
Okay.
They're super like
That's
down-
polite though, because
They're super.
they could have
chill.
been like, "Excuse me, do you know who we are?"
Yeah, they could
Yeah.
have just been like, "Hey, we're gonna get through here."
Do you think
You know, or
guys-
somebody from the fucking event could have been like, "Yo, stop! They're gonna come in first. But instead, he was like,
Wait,
"Hey,
what?
do you think?
That's awesome.
Do you mind if we?" And and he didn't say who he was. He was just
Yeah.
like, "Hey, do you mind if maybe we could cut in?" And it was just happened to be that I knew who the fuck they were.
It just so happened
Where
that
I
you
was
were a
like-
fan and you were like,
Yeah.
fucking Lily.
I was like, "Yes." And he's like,
What?
"Who are they, Papa?" That's Gavin.
I hope we
Who
we get
are
to
they,
be that
Papa? And I
humble.
was like, "These are the guys that made that movie,
Mhm.
kid."
He was like, what?
He's like, "Oh, that's cool." I was like, "Yeah."
And now he has that
fucking right,
story. He said, fucking right, that's cool.
Yeah.
You're like, but don't say the F word.
I'll do that shit sometimes.
You will.
Yeah, we'll be hanging out doing some shit, and I'll be like, "That was fucking cool, huh, Gavin?" He'd be like, "Yeah, it was." He's like,
Oh my god. I think when I was at Gavin's age or younger, I was cursing like mad crazy. As soon as I
Gavin
hit
doesn't cuss.
elementary school.
That's
Well,
shit
just
fucks
that
and
I
everything.
know of,
Yeah.
I'd like to think Gavin doesn't cuss.
You're not with him
He's-
at school.
Watch
I
You
him
know,
at
never
I know.
school.
know.
He's
You're
over there like,
absolutely right.
hey,
You're
bitch.
absolutely
You have no idea.
You're absolutely right. But I would like to think he's
You would hope, yes, of
just
course.
his demeanor in general, like, to be cognizant enough to just like on a regular basis, like, because he spends a lot of time with us too,
Mhm.
right? So to be cognizant enough.
Fucking Rico
Hold on,
Suave over
I'm over
here.
Rico Suave. I'm
Yeah, it
like
was
three
like
buttons
three bu-
down. My chest hair is all out. I'm
Like the emblem of the dragon
I
on his
know.
like chest hair and shit.
We know what was going on before we got here.
Hey. Oh.
But to be aware enough to know that he can't cuss in specific situations.
Yeah.
If he does do it regularly, to be aware enough to not do it, I'd be like, that's impressive.
You're like,
So that's
in
why
that
I
case,
feel
I'm
like-
proud.
That's why I feel like he probably doesn't cuss,
I think what you'll
because he's aware. Because if he does,
Yeah.
he's aware enough to know that he can't say shit, fuck, damn,
Yeah.
like all the shit that could easily
Pop up.
slip out, on the regular.
when he's playing video games, like when he gets older, I'm pretty sure when he's like losing a battle, that's when you'll know he does it often without you because he's saying shit, fuck, while he's playing a video game.
He's
Because
got
we do that all the time.
he's got all the catchphrases. I've heard him play before. I've
Yeah.
heard Gavin play.
Yeah.
He knows all the catchphrases
Oh, yeah.
possible from every video game, and he just uses those instead.
Yeah, which is cool.
He's
Yeah,
like, oh,
you-
wipeout. Like,
Yeah.
like
but knowing how I was for sure.
when you were a kid, you were like,
Yeah, but
God
you're also a
fucking damn.
degenerate. So
yeah, but nobody really knows that till they know me. Like you
That's
said
true.
before, like, and it's funny what you said on the last podcast. I was like, that is so true. That is me.
That people think you're all professional.
That I'm all professional. I
is.
take it seriously.
when
and
you
it-
first meet Keenan, the
Mhm.
first time ever, he will be as professional as possible and as dignified as
Oh,
possible.
hello, how
Yeah.
are you? Yes,
And
no,
then
great.
once you kind of just like open the
Just-
door a
yeah,
little
just
bit,
a
he'd be
little
like,
bit.
his dick goes through first.
He's like, sorry.
His dick goes through first, so you can't close it anymore. And then he just thrusts his way the rest of the way in,
oh,
and then there he
God.
is. That's Keenan.
And if and it will happen if I'm with somebody comfortable, because this happened to one of our friends I was playing poker with. random people I didn't know, but I was with him, and I just started saying the most degrading stuff because I'm with someone I know, but they didn't know me.
Oh no.
And it was just like, I walked away going, dang, thank you for letting me be myself. But I was like, they probably thought I was
Has anyone ever actually commented and gone, Keenan?
Yeah. A lot. That's happened a lot. And I would usually hold myself back, and I would very suppress a lot of things. And it wasn't until
Why would they be your friend if they're not comfortable with that?
You ain't never got to do that around us, bro. You know it.
It definitely has happened a lot. But I'm going back. I'm growing more away from being like kind of like Joe, where I'm sounding very jealous and envious, where I can just say, well, fuck it, that's the way I am. If you don't like it, and walk that way.
Yeah.
And yeah,
at some point you have to start taking yourself for your portion of who you are and saying this is good enough. I don't have to be better. And I say that as someone who's an over fucking achiever who thought for years I had to sit there and entertain people in order to be welcome in a circle. For years.
Do you think you'd still do a little bit of that nowadays, just out of not habit, but like
it's become a habit?
Yeah.
And like I said, I've been working my way towards finding the question behind my statement as opposed to just my statement. Wouldn't you say it's far more valuable to wonder than it is to speak, because we have two ears and one mouth? So it's probably a lot cooler for us to listen to our own thoughts than to hear the thoughts of others. If we can sit there and engage and wonder and ponder and explore and follow these thoughts, whatever they may be, that seems to be a great way to spend your time as opposed to hearing the sound of my fucking voice. Unless it provides thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, because nobody wants to hear your voice on a podcast or anything.
I'm just saying.
You guys know what I think. what I ponder in my head.
Keenan, you are a savage.
Everybody knows, yeah.
I've told Keenan this on several occasions. He basically has the potential to be an evil genius, but he chooses to use his powers for good.
Until one day. When I beat Joe in Dragon Ball Z.
You actually did pretty good today, Keenan.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. I know credit. Keenan likes credit when credit is due. So
here it comes.
I am here to announce that on Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Keenan beat 2 of my 3 characters.
Yes, I did.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 16 of the None of Our Business. Wait, what? Wait. Soapbox Talk. God damn it, Billy. And your preemptive beatboxing. Soapbox Talk. Jesus.
This whole episode has been a soapbox talk.
It's been pretty close.
Oh, yeah.
Keenan.
Yay.
Hit us with your soapbox.
Did you actually prepare something this time?
I always have something prepared.
Shit.
Don't you notice I don't write on Trello because I already have my questions.
Fucking asshole.
I'm dedicated. I'm ready for this.
No,
man.
what it is Keenan wants to
life.
have an advantage. He's still competitive.
I'm trying to keep myself in the podcast. Got to hit with the good questions, the good topics. Plus, you guys, I think you guys know that I'm a good converser person.
Debater.
Well, I mean,
a master debater.
Yeah. You're a master debater.
I hold conversations and I know how to start them pretty easily and keep them going.
True,
so,
conversationalist.
Yeah, isn't that a title?
Yeah,
it's
a
title.
Yeah,
Conversations.
Absolutely.
So my soapbox talk is all you fucking assholes who drive in Los Angeles who stop in the middle of the street when you know you can put your car in neutral. That's what neutral's for, so you can push it to the side of the road. You dumb fucks. Keep me from going from work. I hate you all. It really.
Oh, you mean the? Oh shit!
Sorry. The rules of the soapbox talk is you're not supposed to have commentary.
Sorry.
Wait, but I want to hear what Joe wants to say. Okay. But also, but all the types of drivers you get in Los Angeles. The one who's not paying attention. The one who's on the phone. The one who cuts you off and then flips you off for you being cut off from them. The one who drives all the way up to the front of the line when it's supposed to merge and then cuts at the very end. Fucking frustrating as shit. The ones who zipping out of traffic who try. I experienced at least 5 different alcoholic drivers in Los Angeles every morning. Just the 30 minutes I go to work, there's always some nut fuck who doesn't know how to drive in Los Angeles, to the point where it's like, how did you get your driver's license? How did you survive this long, in your car? And I can see where road rage comes from, where people want to hit people, where people want to just do some of the most nasty things, because it's very, very frustrating and nobody gives a fuck. The worst one I always get is the one who literally tailgates you to push you out of the way so they can get to wherever important shit they got to go to first. And it's like everybody you can see who people really are when you put them behind a car.
Speak on it, kid.
Fuck
Speak
you.
on it. Finger snaps. Finger snaps.
Fuck you all.
Okay.
It was so hard to not it was so hard not to make comments.
I wanted you to say
no,
it.
because I agreed with you. So that whole thing.
Can you tell me your comment after the podcast? I
Sure,
really want to know what
I'll
you
tell
want
you,
to
I'll
say.
tell you,
I
I'll
really
tell
want to know what you want to
Let's
say.
I'll speak on the same vein. I often make calls to customer service departments, or I'm in line a lot.
Joe. Okay. After the podcast,
I'm adding to this, but it's
this isn't your soapbox.
It is
talk.
my soapbox talk.
Oh,
Well,
It's gonna
fuck
get-
you, because I want to say so many things and then I have to be quiet.
can he say it on his soapbox talk?
Yeah, if you
No,
want
I have
to.
something to say on my soapbox side.
Ah, fuck it.
All right, keep going.
Sorry,
keep going.
Philly.
Sorry, Philly. Sorry.
What I find,
my mic off.
what I find is, how many of you have ever been in line somewhere and have someone standing behind you impatiently saying they have somewhere to be, and yet they thought it was a great idea to stop by Starbucks on the way over to the place they're already late to, and they're like, "Could you? This isn't a fucking Burger King. It's a Starbucks. Someone's ordering food here, really?" And I think to myself, look, if you don't have the fucking time, get to where you gotta go. The same thing with calling customer service. Yes, not all customer service people are going to be the best, but for the most part, they deal with a shitload of people on the phone. Anyone in the service industry, whether it be food, clothing, retail, sometimes, right? If you've ever had a fucking job, don't be a dick to the person on the other side of it. They're doing their best, and as long as they don't bring their day to you, don't you dare go bringing your fucking day over to somebody else. Don't be a piece of shit. That's what I'm saying. Be the reason why their day is better, and if you don't know how to do that, then shut the fuck up, get what you need done, and go. Soapbox.
I fuck with that one. I'm a huge I'm a huge supporter of people doing their job right. No, really, I am. My soapbox talk has to do with cancer, guys. No.
Katie was like, fucking A.
Fuck, I
man.
knew it.
It's so sad. How are we going to end the podcast on that note? But it's a real fucking
No,
subject.
it is.
Really? That's your soapbox?
No, it isn't my soapbox
Okay.
talk. You know, I
Okay.
wanna-
So don't use cancer so lightly.
I mean, I can't even make a joke about that.
Yes,
Damn it,
yes,
Phil.
you can. Do you want serious? And this is for Joe, and I know we're not supposed to say, but I just have to get this out for you. If you can.
I haven't started my soapbox talk yet. So.
The closeness, or not close, but the jokefulness that I am with No Holds Barred. As soon as my dad was cremated, we were in the place, the mortuary, or as he was being cremated, we were informed how long it takes. It was like 72 hours to cremate somebody. I immediately said, I kid you not, right after that, I looked at, I think my mother and my brother, and I was like, oh, so you're going to slow roast them. And they looked at me.
Oh my god!
They looked at me, and my brother was like, too soon. And they both shook their heads. But I knew they knew that was funny. And I know my dad was laughing.
Corliss,
Yeah.
please let us know.
Yeah.
Gosh, we shouldn't even be laughing at this.
No,
Oh, jeez.
No.
Oh, fucking
it's
Keenan.
bad. It's
No,
bad.
I'm in the same vein. Before you, sorry,
But,
I just
yeah.
want to say, if I die, I want people to celebrate, not be sad.
Yeah.
Let's stop being so
Absolutely.
fucking
Yeah.
sad, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, I don't
So
want
you
to
can make a
that
joke- so you
because
can
I
make
think that's
that-
a good. That would be a good
Yeah.
topic for discussion
Yeah.
All right.
about what happens when you die, or what should
Yeah.
everyone
Right,
else.
Right.
What is your expectation for everyone else?
Epitaph.
Once you-
Right.
But don't feel bad about
Pass.
making a cancer joke because
Jeez, it's tough.
Yeah.
That's
It's like
tough.
Tom Cruise in Vanilla Sky, right? When he thought nobody wanted to look at his face, and he's like, "Say it to my fucking face," and the bartender turns around and he's like, I said it's on the house, bitch." And he was like, "Okay, I just needed that." Sometimes, sometimes people who have problems in life and people tiptoe around and out of pity and shit like that, it feels worse than if somebody just made a dope joke about it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So thank you, Dad.
Yeah, your dad was great.
Yeah.
My soapbox talk is regarding festival patrons. Festival season is upon us for those in the live event industry. It starts officially. I think it does start. Well, I think the Kind Fest just happened, but that's a new festival. But it starts with Coachella, I believe. And basically, I just want to address all the pretentious white hippie fucks that go to these fucking festivals. Now, I say white very lightly because they're of all different colors, except black and Latino, because they don't really go to these. At least not the underprivileged ones. Anyway, ooh, it's getting hot in here. Ooh, am I making people uncomfortable? Yes, I'm talking to you. You feather wearing bitch. Fucking rocking some Native American headdress when you do not know who the Navajo are. God damn it. Stop it. Stop appropriating other people's cultures to go celebrate something that you don't even give a rat's ass about. A lot of these individuals, they go to these festivals, and I know this because I do a lot of these things. Now, not me personally, but I do work at a lot of these events. But they'll buy these fucking $500 tickets, $600 tickets to spend a weekend somewhere to enjoy a bunch of live artists, but end up going to a lot of the parties that are outside of the fucking festival. And then they appropriate all these different cultures, wearing fucking headdresses or ponchos or, all these things, thinking that, it's fun, it's hip, it's cool. It fucking isn't. You take advantage of everything. You leave the place a mess when you leave it. I'll tell you right now, Coachella camping grounds, after Coachella, it takes like fucking 5 days to clean it because it's so fucked up. Just stop. If you're going to go to a fucking festival, go to a festival and enjoy the fucking music. Don't be all extra with all the other shit, because the people that work there don't appreciate it, and then the cultures that you appropriate don't appreciate it. Definitely don't. I can say a lot about that bullshit because Gucci and fucking Versace and all those motherfuckers are doing it, and now they're getting caught. And well, it's not even that they're getting caught, but it's definitely being addressed. Nobody's looking the other way anymore. So stop, be cognizant, be aware of your surroundings and the people around you. Like, be better, bitches.
And
that is episode 16 of the None of Our Business podcast. We're your hosts, Joe, Philly, Keenan. We getting it.
I'm gonna try to do my guitar thing. Boom, boom,
Hey, you're listening to the NOOB. None of your business when we're coming through, no enemies. We got it all and we're not even celebrities. We had to do it cause we had to let it be. Now John Lennon, we came through, it was so illin'. This is the end of the podcast, so illin'. And now we're chillin'. We leave you with this beat. The None of the Business podcast.
Suck your man's dick.
What?
Eat your girl out.
Eat your woman out.
No, I said eat your woman out last week.
Well, we always eat women out.
Yeah, but suck your guy's dick too. I mean, it's, he'd
Yeah,
appreciate
make it a
it.
two-way street.
He'd appreciate it.
Hey, we
Yeah.
already did the soapbox talk.
Bye.